Everybody in the club getting keeps. And Keeps helps you keep your hair. This is all at your own convenience with easy-to-access hair loss treatment, prescriptions delivered straight to your door, and online doctor consultations. It is a no-brainer, y'all, to try Keeps. Y'all know that 2 out of 3 men will experience hair loss by the time they're 35? And that more than 50 million men in the US suffer from male pattern baldness? You don't have to be part of those stats, y'all, if you take preventative care now. You get 24/7 care and support, a low cost for treatment, and convenient doctor consultations and medications delivered straight to your door every 3 months. Keeps has everything your hair needs to stay on your head, y'all, and it is delivered straight to your door in discreet packaging with proven results. Prevention is key. Treatments take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act now. When it comes to your hair, save more and spend less. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/bomb to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/bomb to get your first treatment for free. keeps.com/bomb. Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. Holy smokes, it's the second week of December already. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 767. I am your host, Jan Ochoa. I'm a cozy little caterpillar right now, and I'm ready to bloom and become a pupa? No. Butterfly.
No, you are a pupa.
I'm currently a pupa.
You're already pooping.
I'm pupin and cupin, just like co-captain of the ship, Jeff Grubb.
Hi-de-ho. Hello.
We have Monarch Butterfly expert himself, Jason A. Stryker.
I don't know shit about butterflies.
And we're putting that on a shirt. Jess O'Brien, tell me your favorite butterfly fact.
Did you know that like when they're in the pupa, when they're cocooned, they completely liquefy? Completely.
Yes, this messes
100%.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And then they come out and they're a butterfly, but it's like, is it the same consciousness?
Yeah, and how does the liquid know to turn into a butterfly? No one
Right?
knows. Yeah.
Is this like Ship of Theseus stuff? Like,
Yes.
oh man,
Butterfly of Theseus.
Butterflies did it before Theseus did it, actually.
That's right. Take that, MCU. Butterflies have been running this metaphor way before y'all have. Oh gosh, I don't know what to do with this newfound knowledge that butterflies may not be real and
Isn't it
everything.
awful?
It's low-key disgusting. Jess, thank you.
It makes you think about like your own brain cells, and who you are as a self, as a person, as an entity.
And that's what we do here on the Giant Bombcast. We question our humanity, our authenticity, whether or not
vis-a-vis video games.
Exactly. Whether or not we've been liquefied or whatnot. Gosh, how's everyone doing this week? Jeff, Jason, Jess? How are things?
I'm doing good.
Good.
A man came in my house today and he said he had to change the water like checker thing that tells you how much water you're using, and we couldn't find it because a new house is still pretty new to me, and we looked around. I had to move my desk and unplug everything, so that was like a kind of a hassle. But we did eventually find it. It's under like a tower of things in my wife's office over there, so we're gonna look at that eventually. But I have my camera upside down now, and I got it flipped in OBS, and just praying everything's gonna keep working now.
Spicy, I like it.
Yeah,
it's fine. Everything's fine.
I decided. Yeah, once you start like tearing things down and like moving things, you're like, well, now I just gotta. That thing I've been meaning to do for months. I'll just do it, and we'll see if it works. So we'll see if my camera goes away. That's what happened.
Yes. You were in the upside down this whole time.
Yeah.
Jason, Jess, everything all Gucci with y'all?
Everything's good. I went to go vote earlier today in a runoff election.
Hey,
like if in the first one they get too close, then they have to have a runoff election. Long story short, I have to vote twice.
That's like a Georgia only thing, right? Is it Georgia in like one other state, or is it just
I think
Georgia?
it's certain states, yeah,
Yeah,
for
there's
sure. But
yeah.
Like a
yeah, I
handful?
did my civic duty today, and it was fine. It was,
There we
good.
go.
Good.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
Thank
Son
you.
got dressed up in a suit.
That's
He loves
incredible.
wearing- he
What
loves
a
wearing
power
suits.
move.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
We got a lot of games to talk about, so why
Yes.
don't we just dive in, y'all? Just dive in with me. Pop into my giant cozy little hoodie thing, and I'll carry us all together there as we talk about.
I want to be there.
I'll get you one, Jason. Games.
No, I want to be there with you.
Oh, okay. It's big enough. We like 3 of us could probably fit at least.
What I'm thinking.
And then
Next
like,
meetup, we're gonna test this.
and someone will just stick an arm through the sweatshirt armhole, and then that'll still
Yeah.
count and everything. Gosh, lots of video games. I don't even know quite where to start. But Jason, I miss you, sir. And as one of the resident daddies in the building right now,
Yes.
you have just beat God of War Ragnarok.
I'm very proud of myself. Yeah, I stuck through it. Not that it was
Awesome.
like a slog or anything like that, but
It's big, right? It's big and long.
it's pretty beefy. Kratos is, a little beefy. There was a stretch in the middle where, it got a little long in the tooth, but I stuck through it. And afterwards, I'm glad I did because it all worked out okay. But I'm actually liking this one a little bit better than the first one. The first one, the last one, 2018 or whatever, didn't click with me for whatever reason. Like I didn't like the combat. The game was gorgeous, whatever, but I didn't like the story. I didn't like the performances. But this one in particular, I'm really enjoying the combat, the changes, that they've made. So it was fun going back every time. So it pushed me through for real.
What kind of changes did they make?
They've got, different parry mechanics, and they've got the red circles, the blue circles, yellow circles, and shit like that. That'll tell you whether you should block parry or get the fuck out.
Oh.
So yeah, more indicators like that, I think. Other than that, there's the skill trees add a lot of different combos and variety to combat. There's also enemies that you can only hurt when you've got a specific weapon equipped. Lots of stuff going on in there.
Nice.
So.
Speaking about dads, let's go to some sons, because I have continued to be playing through Marvel's. I copy and pasted this so I could just throw this into the little label up there. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Grub and I, we did a quick look of it, and that is now up on the site. I don't have much more to say about it other than when I saw someone say that this is basically Marvel's Three Houses. It just kind of clicked with me, and that I wish I was able to smooch everyone, or at least the possibility to smooch him. There was a point there where things got heated between me and Robbie Reyes, I believe his name is,
Yeah,
one of the new Ghost Riders, because we were sitting together on the roof of the little abbey area we're in, just watching the stars, just looking at each other and smiling.
Yeah, he was smoldering like a Ghost Riders want to do. That game, it was so. I'm sorry about it. That game was so easy to write off before it came out. It was going to be so easy to be like, oh man, a game came out and I don't have to play it. Hell yeah, this is a win for me. And then everyone's like, no, it was pretty good. I'm like, all right. And I played a little bit of it. And it is like the combat absolutely continues to be very good, but it's just like one of those games I'm having a hard time fitting in with so much else going on. But after that quick look, it's like I probably will spend a few more hours with it at the very least.
Yeah, nice. I wish you could kind of just skip through more of the dialogue stuff, and you could and kind of just guess piecemeal your way in, but the friendship mechanic or social link style stuff and like the alignment stuff winds up mattering as you progress further through the game. So if you're
good,
you kind of have to pay attention to those relationships, and some of them are interesting. Some of them are much more interesting than others. I am so here for what could be the potential Blade renaissance, because it turns out Blade is sick as hell.
Blade rules.
I want to romance Blade.
That's like the only Marvel superhero thing I care about is like Blade is good.
Are you guys excited about Mahershala Ali playing him? Like that sounds like such a win for that character. That's a perfect fit for
that'll
that.
work.
That'll definitely work. I know that they had some trouble with the first director they had, but we need justice for Blade.
Yes,
Get Guillermo back. Guillermo del
definitely
Toro did a perfectly awesome Blade movie.
He loves those little freaks.
Yeah, give him the money he needs. Make it happen. I'm just glad to hear that you're still like the characters aren't putting you off or anything like that. Because the game is, as we saw in that quick look, 50-50, 50% combat, 50% walking around the Abbey, having these conversations.
Wow, that much. Holy shit.
Yeah, and it's like, because you do like the daytime and then you do a mission and then there's the nighttime. Is that how it went, Jan?
Yes. Yeah. So you'll have your daytime social link stuff to kind of optimize. Like, all right, this is what we're going to research for this day. We're going to deploy a hero to go out on this mission, so they'll be out of contention for our big proper mission. And then once you get all that sorted out, you go on and embark on your mission for that day, whether it's like a story mission or a side mission. And then after that's done, most of the time there will be activities to do during the night. Sometimes there will be you meet up.
No boning, though.
No boning, no smooching, no tiles. But I still like it. It turns out.
When will Marvel be brave enough?
Let me smooch Blade.
Mutants, fuck too. Damn it.
Exactly. Dang it.
True. Yeah.
That was Beast's platform when he ran for president. Absolutely. These characters can be fun in a video game setting. A lot of the games mess that up. So it does seem like this game's capturing some sort of fun, like B grade sort of interactions. But I don't know. It's not. They're not trying to make it big and bombastic. It is just these comic book characters talking to each other, but they bring the characteristics of each of these superheroes to the forefront and let them play off of each other, and that seems really well done for the most part. And the other side of that is the reason it's 50-50 is the combat is quick. It's not it doesn't ever overstay its welcome. It gets started immediately. Like in an XCOM match, you have to get the characters in place before they can begin attacking. Like you have to infiltrate the building to find where the bad guys are to take them on. Here it's just, no, we're going to pop you up and all the bad guys are right in front of you. Just go, just fight. And so it's really fast paced, and then you're in and out, and then you're back to the Abbey. And I think it's got a pretty good pace. It might sound like 50-50 might sound like a slog. It actually seems really well paced because you're actually just bouncing back and forth between these various scenarios really quickly.
Yeah, the combat is also very satisfying.
Yes.
I was initially off put when I heard it was going to be card combat, despite liking cards.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. I'm the same way.
Yeah. But the way that they've flipped the XCOM formula, where it is much more snappier, you can get in and out of those missions very fast, but there is a very strong strategic component still. And each character that you wind up deploying, they all control, or at least play very differently. Like Magic plays a lot with portals, so positioning is a skosh more important with her. With Iron Man, he benefits from redrawing all of his cards. And then you have someone like Captain Marvel, who, if you go like 3 in a row, she can go Super Saiyan and then gets an automatic shield and hits a lot harder. If there's hissing, it's because there's a sync going off. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just pleasantly surprised, and I kind of hate that I have a whole nother game that I feel like I have to play through before Game of the Year.
Yeah. Yep. It's that time of the year where another game can kind of feel really like nightmarish. Like, oh my God, not another one, please.
Speaking about nightmarish games, I caught a quick glimpse of this, and I'm not quite sure what to make of it. So if Jeff Grubb and Jess O'Brien could help guide me through whatever Super Kiwi 64 is.
It's not nightmarish at all.
It's a delight. I guess let's start here. It is a $2.99 video game that just launched on Steam. It's probably elsewhere, but it's definitely on Steam. And it is just trying to be Banjo-Kazooie. And it's accomplishing that sort of with flying colors. A big part of it is they just make the character fun to control, and they don't hold it back. I think when you are trying to build a 3D platformer, a lot of games, at least in the past, have tried to do this balance where it's like, okay, we want to make you feel powerful and like you can get around in this space, but we need to hold you back a little bit so there's some progression or so that there's some challenge. And here it's just like, okay, no, you're going to be able to do a glide, and it's just going to glide for across the entire level whenever you want to. Nice. And if you want to go faster, you hold down a button and a little propeller comes out of your back. You play as a Kiwi, the little birdie thing with the 2 legs that comes down.
Oh, not the fuzzy fruit. Okay.
All birdies have 2 legs that come down, mister.
You're right. Listen, I'm not very good at describing birds. It's one of my true weaknesses. I put this on the forum when baaaaack hired me, but he still let me on the Bombcast. You are wearing a backpack, and there's not like an animal in there like Banjo-Kazooie. he's dealing with it.
I've got all the biology facts today, guys. I know about butterflies. I know about birds.
Yeah. Penguins have 2 legs. Okay, never mind.
Absolutely.
There he is. Yeah, Kiwis don't fly. This Kiwi does glide because he's got a backpack where plane wings spout out when you double jump, and then a little propeller flies out, and then that makes you run faster or glide faster. Point is, there's a lot of cool stuff you could do. The controls are very good, and then there's this key mechanic where the Kiwi's got this long beak. And if you press the B button to sort of do an attack with that, he spins, lunges with his beak, and that beak can get stuck in the wall, which, as Jess pointed out, very similar to that bird capture mechanic in Super Mario Odyssey. It just doesn't have the fling part of that. You can't fling yourself out, but you can still like jump up a wall. You can do like a wall jump and just keep pushing your nose back into the wall. It feels great. And then the levels are these fun little puzzles to explore. These pretty contained spaces that are just about collectibles. There's so many little gears you need to collect, and then there's about 5 or 6 gems you need to collect, and you just find these by either they're laying around the environment, or you have to press a button, make lava go down, press another button, and then it'll pop up. But it's all pretty quick, and I've been moving through it at a pretty rapid pace. But again, $3, and I don't know, Jess, you seem pretty impressed by it too. I'm kind of flabbergasted that this thing's only $3.
Yeah, I'm shook that it's $3. That's not fair that it's $3. It's too cheap, and I feel bad about it. That being
I
said,
kind of want to give them more money. Yeah, exactly.
I know, right? But like, I don't know, like, Vampire Survivors is also with $3 freaking dollars or something, $5.
Started at 3, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's definitely like a path to becoming like a big hit if you do price it really, really, really low like that. There's such a short barrier to entry that people will be like, it's $3, it's $5, I'll try it out. But yeah, I'm really, it looks like they set out to do something and they did it perfectly fine. They didn't get distracted by wanting to add a whole bunch of features, bells and whistles, bigger levels. I feel like that was even like a problem with Banjo-Tooie, is that the levels got too freaking big. And that was like a common complaint, is that the levels were too big, too sprawling, too difficult to, weave in and out of. So I feel like they bit off exactly as much as they wanted to chew with Super Kiwi 64, and I like respect that restraint very much. It almost
feels like they started out with the concept of, let's make a game we're going to sell for $3, and then we do want to make it a Banjo-Kazooie, but then if we're only selling for $3, what should we then do? And it feels like, okay, no, we can make these levels basically bite-sized, but like you walk in, you see everything as soon as you walk in. It can still have a lot of verticality, which it does. A lot of nooks and crannies, it absolutely does. There's I see some hieroglyphs around the place. I saw some next to a skeleton. I don't know what that does or if it does anything, but it seems suggestive of some deeper puzzle maybe in some of these stages. There's some cool stuff happening, but it all feels pretty honed in or like roped in by just saying, okay, it's only ever going to be $3, or at least at the start. It is apparently also on Switch, which I think would be a really good place to play this. So we had such a long period of time from the Switch's launch with the eShop of kind of cheap games cluttering up the eShop store, and that's never been something that it's never rubbed me the wrong way, but it is nice to see, oh no, a few of those games are going to come out and be kind of magical, which I really think this is.
For $3, it's almost if you can spare the money. Geez, I'd go for it too. I'm not even the biggest fan of Banjo, but y'all have swayed me.
I think it like immediately controls even better than Banjo, just because they've had the benefit of 20 years to build on that, and it feels just as good as any modern 3D platformer, if not like among the best of those. Compared
to Bubsy 3D, how does this control?
Well, listen, nothing's going to match Bubsy.
For good or bad.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Speaking about a very approachable entry-level cheap game to get into, and then going to a wildly, potentially high barrier of entry game to get into. Jess, you have checked out a game that I have been very curious about for what I feel like years now, because you recently got an index. Half-Life Alyx. How is it?
Holy shit. Half-Life Alyx is so good. I can't believe it. Like, I just, it's. When did this come out? 2019. It does not.
2019
feel,
is it? 2019?
I don't remember, but that's probably right. That sounds
I'm
right.
Googling it, but somebody will correct me in the chat. But what it doesn't feel. It feels like it came out this year.
2020.
It looks redonkulous. 2020. I was close.
March 2020. So right there.
I was very close.
Yeah.
But it's just like I can't comprehend, like, whenever there's a game that comes out and there's been a huge gap from the last one,
yes,
and it like picks up well from where it left off, and it doesn't feel like it's been like 15 years or however long it was, that always just like completely flabbergasts me and impresses me. And it's like, these are mostly like different people, like they got a couple of the writers back, I think.
Yeah,
but
they did.
Like, and it's awesome, and it's so unreal to go back to the Half-Life world, which I missed so much. I fucking love Half-Life. I love Half-Life 2 so much. And it's like, oh my God, we're back. It's real. It's 3D. I can touch these things. I can throw these things. It feels really good to chuck these things around. I'm terrible at throwing grenades. I wish the game would stop making me throw grenades, because I am just absolute dog shit at it. I've never chucked around the pigskin with my paw or anything like that. So absolutely horrible at it. So there's struggles for sure. And I'm also, I've given myself my own personal struggle because I made the mistake of being too thorough, and I found the gnome. My first playthrough, I found him exactly where he was. I was like, well, I'm gonna give it a shot. I still fucking have him in my hands, and it's so annoying to bring him everywhere, but like, he's like such a little like emotional touchstone for me that I have to bring him with. So he's like a little security blanket for me. I'm just constantly bringing my gnome everywhere. And
this is a thing, right? This is a thing with this game, that you want to beat the game with the gnome. So
like the carrying the gnome everywhere. Gnome Chomsky, I think his name is. Har.
Of course, yeah.
Love
this
it.
Goes all the. I don't know. Does this go back to Half-Life 1 or
I don't know
is this
about
Half-Life 2
1.
thing?
Definitely 2. I remember.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, episode 2, absolutely, because you're trying to struggle with the.
God, that was an achievement.
That buggy. And just like, it's just an extra challenge to see if you can bring this stupid thing through the entire game all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And it's like an interesting way to play, though, because I'm trying to like predict, like, can I leave him here and come back? Is this going to be a place I revisit? Because it's like, oh, here's this thing where there's like a locked door and I clearly need this, electric thing to throw in there, and I'll come back here, but I have to go get that. So it's like, okay, I can leave Noam Chomsky here, loop around, come back. Other than that, I have to like keep him just glued to my left hand, because I have no idea when a load zone is going to happen. I have lost him twice because of a load zone. I've had to load my save and be like, no, that's not fair. I don't deserve to lose him because I didn't know it was going to load here.
Right.
So, it's so.
What's that
cool.
Clive Owen movie where he's got the baby the whole time? Is it like that? I think it's like Shoot 'em Up, and he's like shooting people with one hand and has the baby in the other, and he'll do stuff like toss the baby and then shoot a bunch of people.
God,
and then run and grab
that?
the baby.
That's me.
Okay. Honestly,
I'm doing that.
DJ Monkey in the chat says Children of Men. Yeah, I don't remember that part from Children of Men, but maybe.
Children of Men.
Oh,
it's called Shoot 'em Up. Shoot 'em Up. Yeah.
Release that cut of Children of Men.
Hell yeah.
Please.
Yeah, that version didn't test well with audiences.
I wish this game had just a built-in co-op, so you could do like the gnome run, and you could just like toss it to each other and
that
stuff.
That would be so amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And like, I've heard there's like an incredible amount of mods for this
right.
game.
I bet there is a multiplayer mod now that I think about it.
Like,
yeah.
And like, I didn't know this, or I didn't come across this information until, when I got the VR, the Steam Deck or whatever the hell, Steam VR headset.
Yes.
Index, the Valve Index.
Valve Index, yes.
Got
the
there
Vindex.
Eventually. The Vindex. No. I'm confused because I also bought
it doesn't matter. If people care what the name is, they can look it up, because that thing's $1,000. It's not like we need to tell people about it. Just go get it when you're going to get it. Yeah.
But Christmas came early is all I'm saying. It's all Christmas stuff. I'm not that rich to just willy-nilly buy these things. But I didn't know that Half-Life Alyx was like a full-ass, long-ass game. Like a whole thing. I thought it was like a 3-hour romp or something like that. It's like, no, this is a whole prequel plot thing, and it's long as hell, and my glutes hurt because it's really long and they make you squat a lot. So I'm gonna be really fit by the end of this game.
Hell yeah. I was gonna ask Jess, how's it been playing with the Valve Index? Like, have you played VR in the past? Did you have a different helmet in the past?
So yeah, we had the PlayStation one.
PlayStation VR. Yep, that's all it's
That's
called.
all it's called. Okay,
Yep.
Some of them have normal names. Some of them are like, ooh, the Valve Index. Ooh.
Yep.
The Oculus Rift. But yeah, we had a PSVR, and like that one definitely wasn't as comfortable. And the controllers also were not as comfortable. I think like the way that Valve designed these controllers and how snug they are and how good they feel to grab things with and how used to it you get, it really doesn't feel like you have controllers in your hands anymore. Almost like it's really like you really like get immersed in this because you don't have to worry like, am I throwing this too hard? Because you are really like glued into this little controller.
You're locked in.
And the headset is so much lighter than the PSVR. It's a lot more breathable. It has some more, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Index has more removable parts so you can clean them and air them out and stuff like that.
That sounds right, yeah.
And there's like a little more distance, I think, for your glasses, because you have to wear glasses in a VR or else it will be blurry, like you don't have your glasses on. I did find out, however, that they sell prescription lenses that you can put into
that's
there.
cool.
They do.
So we're looking into that now because it is a little uncomfortable to wear your glasses in, but it's not even close. It's not even like nearly as uncomfortable as a PSVR was to have your glasses on inside there.
Yeah, even in PSVR 2 when I tried it out, wearing it with glasses was still a little bit tough.
And it got so hot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof, it's better on the Index.
Jess, sorry if this is TMI here, but like, was it still full price from when it launched, the Index?
Yeah.
It has not gone down at all?
There's very rarely any discounts on it, at least as far as I'm aware. I mean, you guys bought it recently, but
I didn't buy the Index. My partner did, so I don't know if it probably was full price.
Gosh,
it's definitely it's still in that general range of where it's been.
It's
I mean,
like 1,000. Yeah,
they continue to sell though. That's the thing. Like they're always, at the very least, I always see it at the top of the top sellers on Steam.
Really?
And that's done by dollar sales. So it costs 10 times as much as anything else. So it's not selling just like raw numbers as much as everything else, but it's still making a lot of money, or at least it's generating a lot of revenue for Valve because a lot of people are still getting them. There are some new headsets that come out that have come out that are as capable and have just as good of specs, but the Valve Index still seems to be the general accepted standard if you want to get the high end VR one. It's the one I still have. It's the one I'm not looking to get a new one because the Valve Index is still just as good.
Yeah,
it's good to know that it's still. That it's still comfortable.
To get it now, but it's still good. It's still comfy. It still looks amazing, and it still feels awesome to play. So, Merry Christmas to me.
I'm gonna get mine set up, and my favorite VR games are the ones where it's just kind of a normal space, and then you can do fun stuff in them. There's a couple of ping pong games, and I love just playing ping pong in VR because it feels exactly like the real thing. And we should just play some ping pong. That'll be fun.
I was able to juggle.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Alex is really good at that. Yes,
I was like juggling like vodka bottles. And, like, trying to do
Alex is great at making it feel like you're actually able to catch stuff. It's the best one of those.
I was trying to recreate the movie Cocktails with Tom Cruise. I was trying to juggle and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's hard not to be just like immediate. Like that game's really immersive, and it makes you feel like it's scary, but it's kind of hard not to be silly because it's just VR.
The area I just got out, I'm not going to spoil anything about it, even though it's like a 2-3-year-old game at this point. Old. I got out of this area that I was sweating bullets. It was so stressful. But at the same time that it was being very, very, very tense and scary, it was fucking with me. Like the developers were fucking with me. It just escalated from like oh no, that's bad to, oh no, that's really bad to, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, fucking no. And it just kept on like, oh, knowing on top of itself. And it's like, I have to deal with all this shit. And like, there was a part where like, I had to be really quiet. And this little head crab came scurrying across, just moseying like a little cat. And he knocked over a ton of bottles like a cat does. And I was just like, no. Like
rules.
I tried to catch it. I tried to catch the bottles with my hands.
Oh, I love that. God, that's so cool.
And the monster got aggroed, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was laughing, but I was also like, no! Like,
I love that. That's amazing.
Man,
Valve is so funny. Like, when they want to fuck with you, it is so funny.
I really wish it will come. Half-Life Alyx comes out for like PSVR 2. I hope and pray it does. So
it would be weird if it didn't, but they haven't announced it yet, so we'll see.
because I feel, despite me being VR curious for the past however many years, still a pretty big hill to climb to get an index.
It's expensive. Like
how many wires are we talking, Jess?
How many wires? One.
Yeah, one. Okay.
So it's got the one that goes to computer, and then out of that wire comes the HDMI cable. Is it DisplayPort at this point? It might be DisplayPort.
I think it's DisplayPort.
It might be DisplayPort, and then there's a power cable, and then there's I think it's the USB-C or USB to actually do the data. And then there's 2 lighthouses that come with it, and you have to hook up the lighthouses. Did you guys? Did Josh just like screw those into the wall, or do you guys have them on like
we haven't screwed
tripods?
them into the wall. We have them like on 2 like stationary surfaces that basically stay give or take about the same. But yeah, there's only one cord coming out of the back of my head, so it's pretty comfy. I haven't tripped over anything, but of course you got to stay. You have to have a spotter when you're doing VR, basically, because you're not sure if you're creeping close to your television. I went to go. There was a headcrab zombie guy he was dead, but he was dressed like a security guard. So I grabbed like a nearby book and I went to go like thwack him in the head because they all have physics on them. So I'm gonna like mess with this zombie's corpse or whatever. And I thwacked him with this clipboard, and my hand hit the television. And Josh was like, "Whoa, no!" And I was like, "Wait, you were supposed to be watching me." I'm like, I'm manhandling this corpse and I'm slapping the television. Please stop me before I do that.
How big of a space did you guys, virtually rope off? Because it has the I forget what they call it, the lighthouse system, but it's that virtual gate that will tell you if you're getting too far out of your thing. But did you guys have like enough space to like fully walk around?
Yeah, like,
you can't just do like the stand-up VR, but they'll let you walk around if you have enough space.
Like, we don't have that big of an apartment. We like moved our couch like all the way back.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. That's what it recommends you do. That's what I have to do too.
But yeah, it's like about the size of like I don't know how big our carpet is, but it's just like one of those like washable, ruggable rugs, and it's about that area. And you can they have this thing where you basically cordon off. You can like tell it what your play area is. And then you can, when you're not sure, you can look down and it'll have a little, like the little barrier will be there. Yes. You can see it. So you can kind of readjust and be like, oh, okay, I'm going off at a weird angle. I'm going to like back up, find the couch with my foot, make sure I'm not going to bust anything up. So it's been pretty awesome. And it's also really fun to like watch somebody else play the same game you just played and see how they're going to react. Because Josh is so much better at the combat than me. Those grenades.
Oh gosh, this sounds really neat. I
played it. I got to the sewers. The sewers were scary and damp and meaty and bloody, and I was too scared of them to go through them.
I was like, I'm the horror idiot on staff, but like I'm such a baby with first person horror, and it's very weird and dumb, but it's just specifically a thing. And like, so I was like, oh, I don't know, like I'm gonna have a hard time with the scary sections. And I am a little bit. There were parts where I was so like jazzed and scared that I was like, I was shaking too much to shoot my gun. Like it was all over the place. I had to take a breather. But like, it's been so compelling and cool because I care so much about these characters in this world, and the Vortigaunts are back. And I'm like, oh my God, it's them. Like I can touch them. Like it's crazy. I'm just so thrilled by it.
I'm glad you're having a good time with it, Jess. Speaking about stuff coming back for the first time in a while, Jeff Grubb, you and I have been separately taking glances at this, and I just want to say I've played a good, and I'll put played in quotation marks, Dwarf Fortress. I have no idea what's going on.
I'm piecing it together. I'm getting there. I just haven't had any of the experiences that I've been that have been relayed to me in stories about this game, where you get to know the characters and their family lineage, and then some weird thing happens, and it's like you set this up, but it spins out of your control because it's simulating this entire world and this entire civilization. I'm still kind of learning the basics of just putting resources in my dwarf fortress and figuring out how to have my dwarves use those resources. But I'll say that it's a lot more friendly than the ASCII version was when I tried to realize how to use that. I was just is there a guide somewhere? And I'd go read the guide, and that was indecipherable as well. Yeah. So at least like the barrier of entry here has fallen, and it's the game where I think go ahead.
I have been Dwarf Fortress curious from the get-go, but I've been like, I can't with this, I can't do this.
Yeah, and then as soon as I heard they were like, the team wanted to put this out, and they were like, the idea is that we would like to make some money off this thing at this point. I'm like, well, yeah, let's just do that one. I'll play that one when it comes out. And it's working. It's doing all the things you needed to do. It's kind of really obtuse to get your mind around of like, oh, there's all these various altitude levels, and you do the mouse wheel down one, and now you're one level underground, and then you do that 50 times, and now you're just 50 levels underground. Okay, all right, so I got to make a staircase that goes down, and then I can open up these spaces, and then I have to rope off these spaces to say this is where to put the wood and all the other junk, and here's where we're going to put our trash. I'm like, okay, I am getting that side of things. I just need to figure out when it opens up into this game where anything can happen. That's definitely the stuff I want to experiment with the most. I think it might be something that we should probably stream and
just figure it out together.
Figure it out together and take ideas from the audience, especially people who've played it before, and just say, try this, try that. Like, okay, yeah, you're kind of going down a corridor where it's like, yeah, there's something there eventually, but just press this button and see what happens. And I think that might be the best way to get used to it. At the very least, I'm like, I do feel confident about maneuvering things and navigating the UI and figuring out the shortcuts on the keyboard. And that was the thing that was always holding me back. So I'm like, now I'm ready to fully get into Dwarf Fortress. And people that are familiar with it do seem pretty happy with this final result. So that's encouraging.
Yeah. Let me tell you, seeing the transition from straight up ASCII art to some sprites, I was thinking like, oh, now I'm going to completely understand everything here. First hour, just clicking around of like, I think they're digging. I think my guys chopped down some trees. Why is there a cat here? That being said, this is a very small game for all of the shit that is packed underneath it. It's like it downloaded in like less than a minute because the file size is so small.
It's megabytes, right? And then it's like, oh wait, but there's an entire world in here. It's it's similar in a different direction from like No Man's Sky, where it's like No Man's Sky is just an algorithm, and you start up the game, it kicks on that algorithm, and then it populates this entire universe just based on that algorithm. And it's the same algorithm for everybody. And here it's just like we have an algorithm, and then we're gonna have a bunch of variables. And then those variables are going to be these little dwarves and mermaids. And it's like, the stories you would hear about people finding out how much mermaid bones were worth. And so they would just, they would figure out like, okay, so we're going to build this cove that attracts mermaids. Then we're going to block off the cove, drain all the water out, let the mermaids suffocate. Yes.
Oh my God.
Let the mermaids suffocate. We'll go down there, we'll get their bones, we'll take it up, and then we'll just do the process over and over again.
So the creator nerfed how expensive mermaid bones are because he found this economically this economic genocide situation happening, and he was like, I don't like this
because mermaids are sentient creatures. He's like, this is ethically questionable. We're not going to encourage this. So you nerf the okay, that's an incredible story. I want to go see what else, other terrible and amazing things I could do in this game. And I feel like I'm on the cusp, but I'm not there yet. So we're going to stick with Dwarf Fortress. Let's find some time to stream it. It's a busy time of year, but let's find some time to stream it.
I want to conduct some mermaider. I need to now.
More moida.
Before we get to the big game that came out last week, Jason, I would like to hear about Evil West, because this confuses me about a different game that came out earlier this year. Weird West?
Weird West. Yeah,
Weird West.
Let me tell you, Evil West is a much different game. Holy shit. It's a third-person shooter. There's a heavy focus on melee, and then gunplay as well. But like one of the first things that they have you do is this fucking uppercut, which launches them in the goddamn air. You can jump up after him and do this Superman punch.
It's a Jason game.
Yes, it's a Jason game. It's speaking my language.
When I was editing the quick look, I thought this seems like a Jason game, and then I forgot to tell you, like, you should play this. This seems like a Jason game.
Yeah, I got it, and immediately fell in love with it. So
what was it?
More of that.
What's the Glaive game from the early Xbox 360?
Dark Sector.
Yes.
Dark Sector. That's what they were comparing it to, I think, in the quick look.
Grub, we lost
your
you for a second.
microphone cut out.
All right. Am I back now?
You're back now, yes.
All right. If that happens again, let me know. I'll see if I can do anything to fix it.
Won't.
But does it give you Xbox 360 vibes?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's definitely not a top shelf AAA game by any means, and I don't think that this is from Wild Hog Studios that did Shadow Warrior, I believe.
Oh,
So it's like of that caliber, and like I've played the Shadow Warrior games, and it's like, you know, fucking off-putting as some of the humor is in that game. Like you can, like, it looks good, it plays pretty well. There's something under the hood there, and so this one in particular doesn't have that humor. So I think I'm gelling well with it.
That makes sense.
I don't
a little bit better.
I don't mean this to sound disparaging, but damn, that looks like a good B game.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
I downloaded it on the Steam Deck. I'm going to see how it runs on there. It's not one that I'm like putting at the top of my list for the end of the year, but I just want to get some hands-on time with it because it seems like just a fun game.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I've had a good time with it so far.
Yeah, I'm all about cowboy games like this, not like the trudging ones where like you get all sad and think about emotions and whatnot. Just let me be a hee-haw cowboy, do some cowboy shit, like uppercut.
Cowboys.
Like fucking juggle and uppercuts and Superman punches.
God, yeah, Arthur Morgan, why don't you learn how to do an uppercut and a Superman punch?
Really won through uppercuts.
Exactly.
Had to do a Superman punch.
I just gotta go build this cabin and just think about Sam Elliott and his fantastic mustache. All right. I'm trying to avoid being sad, which is the real cowboy shit, because this was a game I think we were all pretty excited for across the board. Jess, you and Grub took a look at this yesterday. Callisto Protocol.
The Callisto Protocol. I'm depressed. I really wanted it to be good. I'm bummed the heck out. I love Dead Space. Like, even the third one has its merits for me.
I forget there's a third one.
The third one's like, I like it because it's dumb. It's like bad, and it's like one of the. It kind of drifts over to a B game for me because I love B games that are just like goofy, weird garbage. And that game is that because I think you fight the moon at the end. That's great. Elton John is an enemy. Like the main bad guy looks like Elton John.
Okay. I was very confused for a second.
No, canonically it's him.
Okay.
Plays the piano, all that stuff. From the creator of Dead Space comes the Callisto Protocol. It's very much like at the forefront of the advertising for this, I feel, is like from the creators of Dead Space is this thing. And it's very aesthetically reminiscent of Dead Space. A lot of the animation, like the stomping of the bodies and stuff like that, super duper Dead Space feeling. And it's just like, it's a pity that like it's like struggling in the shadow of its spiritual predecessor because it's just not even close to as good as Dead Space. It's just not fun. And I don't care about the plot, the characters, like anything. It's not intriguing. Like, you know, like you'd think like if a game starts off with like a giant, you know, a set piece where a giant like spaceship crashes on a planet, how do you make that boring? Somehow it's boring. Like,
it's missing something kind of across the board in every sort of aspect. It feels like when you were showing me around, Jess, you were showing me some of the, you know, the violent kills and some of the combat sequences, and it's just like they either needed more time or just needed to add something else, another bit of, you know, pepper on top to make everything just a little bit more interesting, and it's just not there. So it was really disappointing. I wasn't necessarily ever super looking forward to this, but I was like, maybe if it comes out and it's surprising, and it's just actually kind of came out and fizzled instead, it seems like.
Maybe. I mean, like here's the thing is that when you say like, oh, from the creators of Dead Space comes this Dead Space ass looking game, you expect it to play similarly to Dead Space. And like, it's more like it's very melee focused and it controls similarly to Punch Out, Grub noted. And I was like, oh my God, it is Punch Out ass
I've heard that,
feeling. Yeah. So like you've got this, like, it's a lot of timing based stuff. It's a lot of dodging, but like the dodge is very like, I feel like I'm not opting into this dodge. Like if you watch the quick look, like I'm basically summarizing what I said is that
you're trying to strafe.
Yeah, like when you're strafing, you end up dodging, and when you try to dodge, you end up strafing because it's the same damn like input. It's just the left analog stick going right or left, and the dodging is so weirdly fast that it you're almost surprised when it happens, so you're not like ready for it.
That's actually when it clicked that it was like Punch Out, because it's really just this instantaneous like jut to the side, and
it's like 2 frames, like it's so fast, and it's
and
like
I think
strange.
they want you to stand there. I think that the idea is you're supposed to stand there in front of the enemy and then wait for the attacks and either dodge the left or right by hitting the left or right on the analog, or even pulling back. And you said that, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is Punch Out, and so you're supposed to kind of be timing these things, and it just doesn't. Looking at the game, it doesn't click. You have to actually experience it and kind of see it and see, like, have Jess illustrate it for me. I'm like, okay, now is that fun in this context? And I don't know.
It feels bad to control is what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It doesn't feel natural, and the pace of it is so weird because, like I said, you dodge so fast, but your attacks are so slow and plotting and deliberate, and it's just such a hard, like, the speed changing so much back and forth, it just isn't congruent. Like, it doesn't feel good, like when the dodging so fast but the attacks are so slow. And like you can like do these combos and stuff like that where you do, basically it's kinesis, but they call it grip in this one. It's almost the same as Dead Space, but the Dead Space one
Nothing. Sorry.
Okay, cool. But the Dead Space one felt better for a lot of different reasons, and one of them is that like it just, you can hold guys for longer, consider where you're going to throw it. I don't remember like it draining super duper fast in Dead Space, but it does in Callisto. So it just feels like what they want you to do is just like grab a guy, immediately throw him, then shoot him, then grab him, then hit him, then shoot him and grab him and hit him. And like I've seen clips of people basically doing that. And like that doesn't look that much fun to me either personally, because it seems very like you're just going through the motions of like doing this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this. And it seems like you just fight those guys pretty much the whole time. There's a couple other weird guys. I actually looked up the ending and it was the most cliche predictable bullshit I've ever seen. And the final boss does not look good. And it's, you know, just like, what are you guys doing? Like, video games are supposed to be weird and fun and outlandish when you're doing like a Dead Space ass thing. Give me some crazy monster bullshit. It's like, no, we're just going to do like a really big guy. He hits you. Like,
That's unfortunate. Am I imagining things? And that wasn't Callisto Protocol originally supposed to be a PUBG tie-in?
Yes, so it was originally supposed to take place in the PUBG universe, and then a few months ago, they're like, apologies, but it no longer takes place in the PUBG universe. And that's when I stopped caring about it, because I'm like, I want to see how they pull that off. I need to see what that looks like. I kind of still don't understand, like, you know, why not do that? That was a weird, outlandish thing they could have done. To like, yeah, we're just kind of going there. We're going to be silly. We're going to try some things.
Sure.
And I don't know. The end product does feel rushed to me. Is what it is, or maybe it is a lack of vision. But I don't know. Mostly, it just seems like they had some ideas and it didn't gel. Yeah, it's incongruent. I think Jess said it best.
Yeah. And I think like it kind of has a feeling of like a homework assignment. Like they were assigned to make a horror game, but they're not into a horror game or something. Like there's just something missing where it feels like they don't understand like a core element of what tension does for a horror game, like what not having a jump scare does for a horror game, like how to pace that stuff. It just seems like, not that it was necessarily rushed, it's more like they didn't get the basics.
Possibly. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like really, it's interesting. Not to say that like the devs aren't talented people and stuff like that. And of course, it's difficult to make any video game.
Technically, it looks really pretty. It looks really impressive. Yes, visually impressive.
So it's a weird little guy, and I'm like, man, the potential was through the roof, and that's what hurts me a lot.
Yeah, I wonder if they felt like they had to rush this to beat Dead Space remake to market. Well, that's a little bit of a bummer. I was kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Some people do like the game, but mostly I've heard reactions like Jess's.
Okay. That's
if you
a
like
bummer.
it, go ahead.
Sure.
You're not wrong. Go ahead.
No game of the week this week because we're all panically prepping for Game of the Year next week. And we'll talk a bit. Maybe we'll talk a bit more about that later in the show. But Jeff Grubb, you had the idea about looking at the rest of the calendar year, looking what else is popping off.
Yeah.
Shall we do that real quick?
Yeah, let's do it real quick. There's so I'm using the Gamer browser, which actually gets fed in from the Internet Game Database. If you guys want to check there, I posted a link in the Discord. But there's a handful of games through the first 2 weeks, and really that means like one more week. And then on December 15th, things just stop coming out unless you look at PC, and then it's kind of a minefield of weird stuff. But there's a handful of stuff I wanted to pick out. Hello Neighbor 2. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people are into Hello Neighbor. I have never played Hello Neighbor 1, and it's like I think it's a thing with the kids. But that's one. It's coming out. I think it came out yesterday, actually, or today.
I could have swore it's been out for months for some reason.
The second one?
Yeah, the second one.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. I had this idea that it's been out for like half a year for some reason. I don't know.
It pops up everywhere, but it's like, it's a hard one for me to like place on a timeline personally. But Portal RTX is another one that's coming out this week. Portal with ray tracing. I think this is made by NVIDIA, same kind of similar stuff they did with Quake. I'm like, I might check back in on that. I love Portal. It would be neat to see what that looks like with RTX. Any interest in kind of like checking out Portal again, anybody?
With RTX stuff, potentially. I mean, I feel like it's been a minute since I've played that where I don't automatically remember everything. So that could be nice to revisit.
I very recently replayed Portal 1 and 2, mostly because I think I needed footage for one of the hot takeout videos. So I replayed like all of Portal 1 with the dev commentary. It's a short game, though.
Oh, yes. Dev commentary.
Yeah.
Oh, they got such good developer commentary on Portal 1. Oh my God. I just absolutely love all their like puzzle ethos stuff that they talk about. It's amazing. Yeah. And like, I don't know, I'm looking at like a couple screenshots of the RTX update and I don't know. I think it's like, it's definitely graphically interesting, but and better looking, but I think it was fine the way it was. Everything's a little too shiny, a little too reflective for me. And I don't know, like
that's how it works. No, that's how it works with these remasters to include RTXs. They kind of really turn up the reflectiveness, and that's been a complaint with all of these similar projects that they are a bit too reflective.
Really,
I like to see them in motion because they're just supposed to be. At a certain point, they become tech demos. But I don't know. Portal is the ideal one sitting game for me, so I probably actually will check in on this sometime over the holidays. Dragon Quest Treasures comes out this December 9th. I really have tried to figure out what this game is. It seems like they're looking,
and I have no idea.
It's like the spinoff of the Dragon Quest monster games, which is like a spinoff of the Pokemon or a take on the Pokemon games. But for some reason, it involves more treasure. This is kind of where we're at in December, though. So here's the big one for me. Choo Choo Charles comes out December 9th.
Thank you for saying it. Thank you for saying what we're all thinking, Grub. Choo Choo Charles comes out December 9th, and I'm hyped.
What is this game, Jeff?
Ooh. Wow. Yeah, amazing. So,
sorry, didn't mean to derail us there.
Very well.
That was a great way to get derailed. But Choo Choo Charles is just this survival horror game where you're on, I think, maybe an island. What? Huh?
I did want I thought this was going to be a fun little train game like Thomas the Tank Engine, but
it's a horror game.
Where you're getting hunted down by Thomas the Tank Engine. Like, that's what it is. And it's
like you're on a track, like you're on a train going around the island, but Choo Choo Charles is derailed and does not.
He's got like spider legs.
He's got spider legs. He comes at you. It's like, it looks hilarious, and I want to check it out so bad.
Yeah, I think that's it's got potential, a game of the week potential here in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Wavetail is a game where you basically play someone like surfs on the water, but it looks like an adventure game. It was on Stadia last year, and it's finally coming elsewhere now that Stadia is shutting down. That looks pretty interesting. The other big game coming up now next week is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion on December 13th. This is the remake of Crisis Core, the PSP game.
Oh, snap.
This game has a lot of fans.
They need to title these games better. Hello?
Yes.
Because I thought this was like a remake of a remake or like DLC of a remake. I don't know, man. But okay.
Yeah. I never played Crisis Core, but again, it has its fans. So I think there's going to be a lot of people checking on that. Right. The problem is, same day, High on Life comes out, and everyone's waiting for High on Life.
Oh.
No.
That's the Justin Roiland game. Well, here's what I found out. I think Justin Roiland is just one of the guns in there, and there's a bunch of other guns voiced by other comedians, so it's not just like Justin Roiland the entire time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why we're not
Robbins
postponing.
Is one of them.
What postponing game of the year for this release? Like,
there's been some positive buzz recently about the game after a round of previews. So I'm like, I want to give it a fair shake, but the style really does just kind of turn me off a little bit. I don't know what it is. two others, Little Gator game on December 14th.
Little Gator.
Yeah, Little Gator game. It is another 3D platformer, kind of in the PlayStation 1 N64 style. Seems like it's got a bigger budget than something like Super Kiwi 64, but looks pretty good. And then the last one from me is Melatonin on December 15th. We played this over the summer. It is that rhythm Tengoku game sort of style thing, rhythm heaven kind of game, but it's all taking place in dreams, and it's got that purplish pinkish style. Looks pretty cool. Finally coming out. You guys see any other games coming over the next month you want to call out? Because those seems
I don't
like
have the gamer browser. I can't check. I don't know.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Yes.
My partner is very excited for the Crisis Core thing.
Yeah. I think I am too.
He's a Final Fantasy freak, so he's been like super jazzed about that.
You know what's cool to see is that there's season 4 of Knockout City, and Knockout City I loved when it came out.
That. Yeah.
But I immediately fell off of it after like season 2 started, and apparently the Ninja Turtles are in it now.
It's the kind of game where it's like, a new season. It is free to play now. It might be worth checking in on again. We'll see.
It's really fun.
I'll say of the ones we mentioned, the ones the idea here is I think we might ask for some input from premium members on the Discord. Say, hey, like, what are you into? And what would you want to hear be game of the week? And we'll see if we can accommodate that. We won't always be able to.
Yeah.
But like of these, I mean, I probably would like to get our opinions on High on Life and probably Crisis Core. Those seem like the two most obvious choices.
Sure.
So we'll see if we can do that. But if anyone else has any other games they want to pick out, I'll dip in. We'll make a thread in the Discord. Come hang out there. If you're a premium member, just go to discord.gg/giantbomb. Jump in there. We'll have a thread going, and I'll just take the temperature of the room and see what people are thinking.
Yeah, you also get access to the fun little behind the scenes channels where I'll post pictures of my dog, or Rory will post miscellaneous photos of like a turkey carcass, which is great. It's fun times. Fun times. Yeah. Something else that is popping off this week before we go to break, Grub, this was another one of your ideas. The Game Awards are happening this Thursday, and are we gonna commit to talking over it?
I'm down. I'm down.
I think it's us four, right?
It's us four. Yeah.
Everyone else is traveling, getting to go get dressed up. What do you guys think? What do you guys think Dan Reichert's going to wear to the Game Awards? Do you think he's going to dress up at all?
I would assume so. Like he's grown up an awful lot. But I remember when he would come into work when we were at Game Informer with a button-up shirt. You knew damn well that Dan had a date that night.
Oh, he'll have a button up. Yeah, I think he'll have a button up.
It was always the Leonard Skinner shirt. It was a very small.
I'm glad it's that.
Or he's gonna wear that like burgle my bananas that really shiny
I hope
jacket.
So. I hope so.
So that they might go put him on camera because he's got a really shiny outfit on.
It'll distract Jeff Keighley. Like the light will get in his eyes and he'll trip and fall and get injured. So what do you guys think is going to be there, and what do you want to see there? Like those are the two big ones. I'll tell you. Let me start with what I want to be there for a very personal reason.
Okay.
I would very much like to see Nintendo Shadow Drop Metroid Prime remaster, so I don't have to cut my hair. That would be nice.
Mister.
I'm in a lot of trouble, and it's happening. I tell you, the idea is not a popular one in my house. I'll say that much. So when this all goes, well, hopefully it'll grow back.
You're gonna disturb your daughters. I feel like if I were their age and my dad got like his head shaved or his beard shaved, I would have been like crying for a week. Like
they literally were hugging my hair and telling me I can't do it. I'm like, guys,
it'll grow back. Here's what you do. You just save all of it and then we'll braid it back in.
Yes, there we go. I'll make my own extensions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, anyone else got any like big predictions that you are hoping for, and then anything you think will definitely happen?
I don't know if it's going to happen.
Okay.
So like that giant Silent Hill garbage that just got blasted out a month or two ago. I'm part of me is like Konami blew their load. There's like nothing left. Like
you think we'll see more?
What if because the Bloober Team one, the Silent Hill 2 remake seems pretty far along looking.
Yeah.
And they only showed a couple characters. I'm wondering if they're gonna have a second trailer that shows off the characters they didn't show off, Angela, Eddie, and Maria, and they showed Maria a little bit, Laura. So maybe Could be.
That seems possible.
Could be.
Yeah, totally.
Still no gameplay though. I bet there's not going to be a gameplay trailer.
Do you think Jeff Keighley would have a relationship with Konami after what they did to his boy Hideo Kojima?
I bet it's strained.
Yeah, maybe a little
There's
bit.
beef. There's beef
Yeah.
there.
It's like when you're friends with a couple and they break up and you have to decide which of the couple you hang out with more.
Right. Yes, he clearly chose to go with the dad in the situation. Well, I don't know, the Jeff Keighley in the situation.
Who wears the pants in this Konami situation?
I'm not sure there are pants worn here.
I don't know. Oh, someone mentioned a Slitterhead. I would like to see more of Slitterhead, especially if there's gameplay to be seen.
Right.
But I don't know.
Jason?
We're all big Slitterheads here, absolutely.
I'm all eyes are on fighting game stuff. Like 23 is going to be a good fucking year for fighting games because you got the tentpole stuff like Tekken, Street Fighter as well. So yeah, I'm hoping to see stuff from them.
Someone said Kingdom Hearts 4 in the chat here, and then I guess I don't know if it's excited for or just I feel obligated to be excited for it, and then I have to be jazzed. I want someone to release another podcast.
Yeah. Kojima to come out and announce a second podcast. Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's like a watch-along podcast of his favorite movies or something.
I
would
listen to that.
I would buy 5 of those in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I think we do get
Hideo and Hennessy. Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, man,
I'll whatever level of Patreon that is, I'm gonna figure it out and get on there
ourselves. Like every one of his tweets where he talks about a movie, we're like, all right, that's what we're doing this week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we should watch the Hideo collection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think GoldenEye 007 has a small chance of shadow dropping that night. They have Nintendo. I don't think has announced an N64. A Nintendo Switch Online game for December yet.
Yeah,
that seems like a possibility. They said it was coming soon. I've heard some things like it definitely is like 100% coming, and they've got some stuff like ready for the promotional side of things. It's just that thing, the stuff I'm hearing there won't be ready for this Thursday. So I'm like, I wonder if like maybe it won't actually shadow drop. They'll actually just announce it, say it's coming later this month, and then that stuff starts rolling out in a couple of weeks or 1 week, but a week before Christmas maybe. But beyond that, I'm like, it's a tough one to nail down. We know about some of the big things: Star Wars, Jedi, Survivor. They've straight out just come and confirmed will be there. And I wonder if that's going to be the high watermark for this Game Awards, where it's like those kinds of games will be the biggest ones, the ones we already knew were coming, and we're just getting updates on them.
I'm going to make a bold statement in that we're going to learn more about Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, shut up.
Right.
Whether it's canceled, it's renamed, or something, we're going to get some type of update.
I don't
Would you bet your hair on it?
No, I would not do that.
Okay.
I would not do that.
Smart man. Much smarter than me.
We're also to make the watching the Game Awards much more fun with us. We're also preparing a bingo card.
Great idea.
That you at home can play along with on Thursday night as well. Gosh, I also predict there's going to be a weird celeb encounter, or it's like, oh, I didn't expect you to be here.
Animal from the Muppets.
Oh my god!
He's actually going to be there.
Yeah, they've had Muppets on before. Yeah.
And he's Hideo Kojima's new celebrity friend.
He's going to get scanned.
Face scan.
And that would rule.
Death Stranding 2, a single Muppet character's in it. It's played
it
straight.
would rule.
Oh my god!
Rule.
I need that. I need that so bad.
I do want the Kojima Muppet crossover. Absolutely.
There should simply be a Muppet game that is kind of in the format of like Muppet Treasure Island and Christmas Carol, where there's one really awesome celebrity that is photorealistically there and acting their heart out along with all of the Muppets. That would be so amazing.
I need Hideo Kojima to make a Christmas game with the Muppets. Not a Muppet Christmas Carol. Just find a different old Christmas story, but I need Hideo Kojima to make that with the Muppets.
I love it.
Oh my god, can you he's gonna get Animal to talk. He's gonna get Animal to have like a whole monologue. But
Some of the situations that they did like with Guillermo where they face scanned him, but he has a different voice actor.
Yeah, just be animal
controlled by nanite technology. And it has overtaken me and the private military coalition. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my God. I'll even be fine if Norman Reedus decides to hang out with the Muppets.
I think Norman Reedus would
That would
totally
be great.
party with the Muppets.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my god,
God.
that would be comedy gold.
If
I think
there-
he would love it.
If there is some type of Muppet announcement at the Game Awards, I'm going to need to call Lucy James immediately and get it
have her call
on the spot.
Get her on the phone, right? From
Exactly.
the Game Awards and make her do a Kermit impression. See if we can get that picked up on the camera. Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my God.
Can we get an interview with Animal?
I once held the original animal Muppet, so maybe, perhaps.
You've met him?
I've met him.
God.
I think Jeff Keighley just really likes Muppets. Did he have Kermit on before? He's definitely had a Muppet on
Get
before.
Beaker and Bunsen.
Beaker and Bunsen,
yeah,
that's
Bunsen,
right.
Honey
Keith
Dad.
Thank you.
Keely, it's probably too late this
check
year,
in.
but next year, just have the Game Awards hosted by the Muppets. You and the Muppets. And then I'll watch it twice.
Yeah.
I tell you what, kids love the Muppets. So the Muppet Babies, that new show, it's actually was recently canceled, but for three solid seasons, I was probably the finale was really good. They decided to start the Muppet Babies show, and it's
Nice.
they do an episode of the classic show. It's really it's a great show.
God, it's
It is. It is.
the Muppets are fantastic. Oh my God, I could gush on about the Muppets for 12
Me
years.
too. This is a Muppets podcast now.
We are pro Muppets here. That's right, folks. Finally, a gaming podcast brave enough to take a stance on Muppets.
Greg Miller doesn't like the Muppets, and everyone should just go at him right now on Twitter and just say, "Fuck you, the Muppets rule."
What is wrong with that boy?
Everything. So much is wrong with him.
Greg, you love
He's
everything. Why don't you
disgusting.
like the
I know,
Muppets?
He loves everything. Why take a stand at the Muppets? The line is drawn here. You're insane.
This is where
Yeah.
I don't.
Complaint. What's the
This is where we
complaint?
break up.
I think it's mostly, I'm Greg Miller. I have bad taste. I think that's what pretty much sums it up.
Oh
Pretty
my
much
god, I
some-
thought he was in the room with us. That's an incredible impersonation.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been working on it.
All right, I'm gonna go have to take out my rage about Greg Miller not liking the Muppets, and then just sing along to the Muppet theme song for. Oh my God, we should. How the Muppets are owned by Disney. It's not. We can't get the Muppets for Game of the Year in time.
Kermit the Frog here. Fuck Greg Miller.
Kermit the Frog here.
Kermit the Frog here.
Kind of funny.
You have to start it that way.
Is a fun website, but I love Giant Bomb. That's all. We're gonna go to break now. Keeps. You're feeling a little thin up there? Or y'all scared that it might start to thin out? Well, y'all gotta get Keeps so you can keep your hair and prevent hair loss. First, let me tell y'all that Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. And there are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss. And Keeps has both. Keeps offers simple, affordable, and is a stress-free way to keep your hair. You get 24/7 care and support, a low-cost treatment, and convenient doctor consultations. And these medications are delivered straight to your door every 3 months. Keeps has everything your hair needs stay on your head, y'all, and it's delivered straight to the door. It's in discreet packaging. It's got proven results. Prevention is key here, y'all. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act now. When it comes to your hair, save more, baby, and spend less. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/bomb to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/bomb to get your first treatment for free. keeps.com/bomb. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. There's a couple moments during the day where I just straight up get stuck. I don't know what to do, and I kind of wish there was a manual to help get my brain unstuck. But with BetterHelp, I can get the help to get unstuck. Therapists are trained to help figure out all of these types of challenges and roadblocks to help us get unstuck. Now, I know that there can be a stigma with reaching out for help. I'm guilty of this. But let me tell y'all straight up that there is no problem admitting and reaching out, especially when you need it. And therapy can really, really, really help you contextualize any existing issues you got laying around. It can help you make sense of this stuff. And in general, it is a great place to vent any issues that you've got on your chest that you feel uncomfortable burdening your family members, or your friends with. Reach out and get therapy, y'all. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/bombcast. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/bombcast. Thanks, BetterHelp. Jesus Christ, I cannot get Muppets off of the brain. Now I'm thinking, all right, you know who we should just give the Muppets to? Because Disney barely does anything with them? Give Wes Anderson the Muppets. Yes. I want to see a highly stylized, like, movie with the Muppets and just like all flat lays and everything and just like a bunch of random ass shit. Oh my God.
What's the little French shrimp? What's his name?
Pepe,
yeah.
He's my favorite.
Yeah, him and like
shrimp.
whenever he wears a turtleneck and has like the gold chain, like that's my favorite thing in the world, actually.
I love Pepe, but I'm like annoyed that he's kind of like replaced Rizzo a little bit.
Oh, right.
Rizzo's got a place of honor in the Muppet Babies cartoon, the new one. So he always shows up as like when they need a cool character, it's always Rizzo. So Rizzo's still out there. He's still out there working. Absolutely.
Give me Mad Max, but Muppets. Oh my God. Yeah. Fury Road.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I think there was a little bit. I think they did a scene of that in Muppet Babies too. So yeah, there's already
skit or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After you show your partner Muppet Christmas Carol, because during the break he mentioned that she's never seen it before.
Oh, what?
You have to make sure you show her the outtakes after that too.
Oh, I should.
Important stuff.
God, we were talking during the break about like who would be good in a Muppets movie, and we decided The Rock would not be good because The Rock would take himself too seriously. But I think Norman Reedus would be fun. He would be fun.
I also suggested Mads Mikkelsen, and I realized that every one of Kojima's friends is like the perfect foil or companion for a Muppet.
Foil's the right word. Absolutely, yeah.
Straight man for Muppetization. I don't know.
Muppetization.
It's a painful process.
Yeah, your body becomes liquid. Your arms, your skin turns into felt. It's a whole process.
Your rear end just opens wide up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and then like you get like tiny, thin black sticks on only some of your arms or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's fine, you'll learn that it isn't easy being green. Just like we're all about to learn about the news.
Now that's a pivot you can count on.
Well, a whole lot of pivoting happening on this website soon.
We pivot in all sorts of places.
Pivot right into it.
Call me Jeremy Pivot.
Okay, or don't, or maybe don't actually. All right, I'm going to try to recapture this Smash esports controversy to the best of my ability.
Shit.
Be careful, Grub. You might step in poop.
Messy, it might step in poop. I think we have a good sort of cap on this one now, though, so we can kind of have a discussion about it. But let's go over what's happened here. Smash World Tour, which was going to be this fan run, is not. It doesn't seem appropriate. It's a professional organization. They're going to have a big prize pool. They canceled their grassroots is the right word. Yes, they were going to have a tour in 2023. They were going to have a championship here in the next week or so. All those things have been canceled, and the 2023 tour at the very least was canceled based on not being able to get a license from Nintendo. Nintendo denied them a license. That seemed to stem from a couple of places. Nintendo claims it stemmed from a lack of taking safety of attendees as serious as Nintendo wanted them to. But the I did that every time. Smash World Tour organization says it was also due to this Panda Global, which does have the license with Nintendo to run Smash esports events, was out there talking to organizers, talking to event places, talking to pros, and saying, "Don't go with Smash World Tour. It's about to fall apart. They're not going to be able to get anyone there, and they're going to close down, and you're not going to be able to work with them." And so it seemed like a little bit of a work of sabotage that went around so much that the CEO, let's see, I have it here, Alan Bunny, who is the CEO of Panda Global, has had to step down because up to 80% of the esports pros that were working with Panda Global have left and resigned from that organization based on Bunny allegedly being involved in these activities.
Bear in mind, this dude is still the owner as well.
He is
like
still the owner of Panda Global, right? So that's why I think you haven't heard like, oh, he stepped down. Everyone's like, okay, well, we'll go back and work with you. It seems like Panda Global is going to have its own mess now to pick up based on having all these things fall apart. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just distracted that a guy named Bunny runs a company called Panda.
Yeah. Yes.
Continue.
Bunny runs Panda. A few things have happened here since then. Ludwig, who was one of the people nominated for Gamer of the Year, or however that category is classified at the Game Awards, is putting on his own event for Smash Brothers with a $50,000 prize pool that's going to invite the top 8 players from the Smash World Tour to come and compete. So there'll be some sort of consolation there. But basically the story is it's a mess because Nintendo hasn't made it clear what independent organizations can do to get the license and how that operation would work if it can't get the license, which it seemed like that's really the reason that Smash World Tour had to shut down, is they were in a legal gray area with the licensing problems. And that's kind of where we were always going to end up with esports, right? Because you want to go start your own basketball league, you can just do it. No one owns basketball. No one owns football. You can just do those things. You go buy your own basketballs and footballs. Here you are with esports, you are almost always playing a copyrighted work owned by a corporation that has a lot of lawyers. And those lawyers are kind of always circling like sharks, especially at Nintendo. Yeah. And if you want to try to do something in that space, it's going to be a lot more challenging. And I think that this is something that might need to be figured out before esports can really take that next step forward. Because otherwise, what other esport leagues that are out there for the most part are part of the corporations themselves that run the games. And when they get distracted or get bored, those things could go away. And then the community that wants to keep it going might be out of luck because legally they might not be able to run these games how they want. At least it's going to be true for Nintendo. I don't know. What do you think, Jason?
Well, yeah, there's been lots of hubbub in the fighting game community, about this, of course. And you kind of touched on, esports always was going to end up in this place. It hasn't so much in the FGC. With the exception of Nintendo. Nintendo has shut down this stuff before and will continue to do so. I'd be interested in finding out the reason why they weren't granted a license. It's tough because, the Smash community has had a lot of commotion about, people grooming underage players and sexual harassment, and it's been kind of icky over there for a while. So they're trying to break free of that, and part of that is making sure that stuff doesn't happen. So like I said, I wonder the reason why they weren't granted a license. This is weird because it's gone back and forth. Like initially, Panda came out and said, Nintendo shut us down. So you're like, fuck Nintendo. Nintendo comes back and says, no, we didn't tell them to shut down. So then you're like, what's going on at Panda? Then the CEO
Smash World Tour
steps down. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know who to believe. It's a mess. But at the end of the day, this is kind of common for the FGC, to have
this sort of just blow being dramatic and blow up in their face. At the very least, most of the pros involved in this scene seem to think that there was some impropriety happening with Panda Global and their behavior towards Smash World Tour. And we'll have to see what the fallout of that is. But it does seem like rip Panda. Yeah, that seems to be that. It's hard to see how that goes forward under the current ownership. I guess. Alan Bunny could try to sell it and completely wash his hands of it, but until that happens, it's hard to see how it goes forward because you need these pros to be able to operate. They are the stars, and alongside the games in many of these cases. But in the Smash community, it is those players. So we'll see. Microsoft is going to raise the price of new first-party games built for Xbox Series X and S. This is going to happen in 2023. The games are going to go up to $70. Xbox games, of course, cost $60 for the full price for a base game for a very long time now. Here's a quote. This price reflects the content, scale, and technical complexity of these titles, a Microsoft spokesperson told IGN. As with all games developed by our teams at Xbox, they will also be available with Game Pass the same day they launch. So they're not going to sort of take that away. Of course, this comes on the heels of Phil Spencer saying that they wouldn't be able to hold the price on consoles, games, and the services forever. Seems right now the only thing that will go up in price, at least for now, are the games. This was inevitable, though, right? Because PlayStation's already done this, Activision's already done this, EA has done this, and they have games on Xbox that cost $70. So Microsoft was going to make this move, and at the very least, it makes it seem like, now Game Pass is more valuable, right? Like it's easy to do that math in your head, and they're probably not unaware of that fact. Is this surprise anybody?
No, not at all. I was actually surprised that the prices weren't already at $70 because I don't know. You look at something like Need for Speed Unbound, and if you look at that on Steam, I'm surprised that it's $69.99 versus $60 or $59.99.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely some sticker shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that games aren't $90 when you
just
actually
to put that evil out of the
consider-
universe.
I mean, just when you consider how big and how much effort it takes to make these incredibly huge, incredibly detailed, long games, it's thousands of people sometimes are making this thing, and for the product to be as cheap as $60 or even $70, it's kind of a weird miracle to begin with that it's that cheap. Not that I'm excusing a price getting hiked or anything like that, but I think I don't know. I think we didn't appreciate what we had when it was $60 because people were still complaining oh my god, $60 and it's only 20 hours long. It's that's a lot of game though. I don't know.
I think when it comes down to it, most people for most games that they buy probably aren't paying $60 anyhow or $70 at this point. A lot of people usually wait. I think most normal people are happy to wait a few months to see if they can get a game on sale. For most publishers, that's going to happen relatively quickly. For some games, there's some recent games that were half price after coming out 2 weeks before Black Friday. So we're all pretty rational shoppers on that front. So all this really does is sort of move the average sales price up a little bit, a few percentage points. And then it also does make Game Pass look pretty good. But there is a company that doesn't lower their prices named Nintendo. And they got to be looking at this and saying, well, now it's our turn. I don't think there's any chance that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom comes out at 70. But a year later, I guess maybe there is a chance. But a year later, I think no later than that, Nintendo's probably going to have most of its games at $70, especially if they launch a new Switch, right?
If they launch a new Switch, I can't see them doing it now with the current Switch. I can't see them bumping it up to 70 and somehow figuring out a way to justify that, because I don't see the justification there.
I think their justification would be it's Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's better than name any $70 game right now is how they were going to view it at Nintendo. Right. But can they pull that off? Do they really want to do that PR headache? It's the one game that maybe could get away with that PR headache, but you're right. They probably will mostly avoid it until the natural point of doing that, which is with new hardware.
I have a question real
please.
quick.
Yeah,
might not be quick actually, depending on the answer.
Let's do it.
What how does this kind of work with I know there's a huge demographic of people who will buy a game and as soon as they're done playing it or bored with it, they just sell it right back to GameStop or whatever. Yeah. How does this type of customer, sorry, I'm bumping my mic left and right here. How does that type of customer affect how the final sales numbers of stuff if they're just dumping it back into the
they don't
system,
count towards
doesn't
that
count, right?
Yeah, right. But the argument would be is if you are the customer who is buying games day one and you're also the customer who sells your game secondhand to someone else, that money that person is spending to buy that game from you, whether it is through Craigslist or GameStop, God, I messed it up. Regardless, that money goes to you, and then you are a person who's very likely to use that money towards your next new game purchase. Maybe. So the money still sort of makes the world go around in terms of the gaming world. But if you're just talking about does that game sale count towards the success of a certain game, usually not. No, but
Like my question is like, would the person who's buying it secondhand then not be buying it from the company?
Correct. The company does not get that money. Yes, exactly. And this is why you see games going in the direction they're going, where they're becoming services and they are free to play. And if you want to spend money on a game, you got to go into the game and buy in-app purchases. That's a big reason why the industry has moved in the directions it's moved in the last couple of years, last decade, really. So
crazy.
I mean, and Game Pass solves this, and digital games solve this, and more like digital. The slice of the pie that is digital compared to physical has grown and grown and grown, and that you don't pay less even though you can't sell those games. So they've found their ways to deal with this, and I don't feel too bad for any of the companies when it comes to that stuff. So yeah, if you like buying your games used, to keep doing it. You are still making the world go round.
I get it's such a tough pill to swallow, games becoming normalized at $70, because I think, Grub, you alluded to it. We saw Sonic Frontiers, what was it, a week later, going for half price, like $40, like on almost all platforms, right? So it is one of those instances where, hey, if you are a consumer and you really are excited about a game, it still might serve you well to just wait.
Yeah, that's the real, like, if you want, the world is just like Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land, a video game that never came out here. Everything is worth
I'm always saying that.
That's another one we should stream. There's also a dating sim game with Tingle that we should play that never came out here. There is everything is worth what you say it's worth. It just, you might have to wait until it actually costs that price, right? If a game is worth $30 to you, just wait until someone will sell it to you for $30, and then that's how much it costs. This is them coming out and saying it's 70. It's like, well, that's how much you're going to sell it for in the store, and that is not the only way to buy games. So it's again, it's just percentage points moving left or right a little bit on a sliding scale of really how much more money is the company going to get. They know this doesn't suddenly mean $10 more for every game sold. It probably means somewhere in the range of literally $2 to $3 more per every game that we actually sell. So yeah, but they're well aware of that. All right, let's move on to Fortnite is a whole new game. Fortnite Chapter 4 is here. This happened earlier this week, and I almost put in Game Mess Mornings. I was like, is this really that interesting? Turns out there's a lot of changes in this. There's a new map. Basically, it's completely reworked. They've done a lot of improvements to the technology behind the game thanks to Unreal Engine 5.1. Oh. This includes integrating, long-named features that were a big part of Unreal Engine 5, including Nanite, which is, the best way to explain this. Remember in early PUBG when you would land and a building would take a long time to load in its textures, and you would get that LOD version or load version, the level of detail version that was just a big blob? Yeah. What this does is it makes sure that there aren't tiers of that level of detail model. It's just we put in the trillion polygon version of that, and Nanite can scale that down up and down as needed, depending on how far away from it you are. And as you come in, it streams it in instantly, and you're never going to see those weird blobs. And it's always going to be as detailed as possible based on the horsepower of your system or whatever. Jeez. Wow. It's a big improvement for that side of things. Another big improvement is Lumen, which is basically a real-time lighting system very similar to ray tracing, but it doesn't require the really heavy-duty ray tracing mathematics that has caused games to go from 120 frames per second down to 25 or 14 frames per second. And it's built into Unreal. It's an Unreal exclusive feature, and it makes games look very good because of global illumination, which is it's where people who are using ray tracing want to go, where all of the lights in the environment are ray traced and they behave in the way lights really should. And now that stuff is just in Fortnite, and you don't need RTX necessarily to get it actually operating. And they keep saying it'll still run at 60 frames per second. So That's pretty cool. And then some other stuff, virtual shadow maps, which is, improved shadows. And then temporal super resolution, which is apparently Unreal Engine's version of DLSS or AMD's FSR. And really what this is they previously would use temporal anti-aliasing. And they would use movement of the character and the frame changing over time to smooth out the sides. Now they're doing that to get actual pixel information to improve the overall resolution appearance. And this is the magic behind DLSS for the most part and FSR. And now it's just built right into this. So if you're playing this on the Switch or you're playing this on your phone, you're going to get similar improvements, even if you don't have like an FSR capable system. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I want to check this out. So I think we're probably going to try to play this on Friday, right, Jan?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get all the way back into Fortnite. I'm just kicking rocks here because I totally missed when Naruto was in the store.
Yeah, I got back in the store and I missed it too. I wanted to get Kakashi-san, so
I just really needed to get Kakashi.
me
I just
too.
want to be cool. Please, anyone and everyone, ping me if the Naruto's come back. I know Green Naruto's headed in for this next season.
Who needs Green Naruto?
I need All Might to be in the game. I need All Might.
Here's the thing, Jan. I bet they'll give you another chance to spend more money. I promise you that much. At the very, I did get charged for my subscription to the game. I'm like, oh yeah, I should go back and play Fortnite again. So still spending money on it.
Can I be Snake Eyes? Because that's like one of the only skins I bought. Bear in mind, I've never played the game, but I'm still buying skins.
Absolutely,
I'm sick that way.
That's what that game will do to you too.
Yep.
Yeah, hell yeah. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but it is launching March 16th. That was according to Steam. They've since taken that down, but then they later confirmed, and they being EA and Respawn, that this game will get a new trailer, a new first look at the Game Awards on December 8th on Thursday. I'm very ready for this. This will kick off the marketing campaign that we've been talking about for a while over on Game S Mornings, where it's like, yeah, they're waiting for December. They're waiting for the Game Awards. Here it is. And I'm excited that this game does not seem to be getting any sort of delay. It was always supposed to come out in this time frame, and it's going to make it. I hope that means it is in a much more solid base than it was when the first game launched, which if people remember, it was coming in pretty hot, and there were some serious technical issues. A little rough. So where are you guys at with this game? Are you excited? Are you ready to see some more stuff from this game at the Game Awards?
I actually really liked that first game.
Yeah.
With the Dark Souls elements and the combat and such. And I'm actually kind of excited for another Star Wars game. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same boat. I enjoy Cal to an extent. I wouldn't mind revisiting the world.
He was improved by who they surrounded him with, which were some very great characters, and they made me appreciate Cal Kestis more. Okay, BioWare gives a small update with a new cinematic for Dragon Age Dreadwolf. That cinematic focused on Solus, I think is the name of the character, who is the Dreadwolf, who's a god. He's going to come and mess things up and try to destroy the world. People are going to have to probably put an end to that. That's probably where you come in as the player. They did not give much more of an update on the game's development on this occasion. They did recently do that a few months back, I think in October even, where they said it entered the alpha milestone, which meant the game was playable from beginning to end for the most part. Not that it's necessarily content complete, but that you can now boot up the game and actually play something and make progression throughout the game. Since this story broke earlier this week and we talked about it on Game Us Mornings, I kind of looked into it to say, okay, people are taking this to mean, oh, there wasn't an update on where it is in development. Maybe we won't be playing it in 2023. So far, it does seem like the game is still on pace to hit that time frame of late 2023. It is not. There's been no reason to suggest that it's going to go into 2024 yet. So I guess that's some good news for people who are, hoping to play this game relatively soon. It seems like by a year from now, that could still be possible. Of course, things could get derailed between now and then, but so far, yeah. Are you guys any Dragon Age fans among you?
I want to be excited, but I'm glad people that are excited.
Yeah, there's some people really like BioWare games, and it's like I was like, oh yeah, people love Mass Effect, people love Dragon Age, and I never fully got into it. I like Dragon Age Origins from what I played.
I like Origins. I played 2. It's actually kind of special to me because I was super sick when that game came out.
Oh yeah, okay.
And my friends bought it for me as a get well gift, and I played through it. Yeah,
I've seen a lot of BioWare games over the shoulder of someone else, but I haven't played them myself. You know?
All right. Yuzu Koshiro is making a brand new game for the Sega Genesis. Yuzu Koshiro, of course, is the composer of the soundtrack for Streets of Rage 2, I think for most of them, but especially Streets of Rage 2, which is one of the best soundtracks of all time. He went on Twitter and said that, hey, we're making this game, and this is a quote from it. It looks like an old school shoot 'em up, but it is a new game we're developing, harkening back to famous franchises in the 80s. We will release it for the Mega Drive / Genesis. I'm making the soundtrack and have been back also as a game designer since Beyond Oasis. And this is him saying it's the first time he's done design work since Beyond Oasis. And I think that's super cool. It's kind of the kind of thing that where we see a lot of these developers try to recapture that old magic. Rarely have we seen someone just be like, no, we're going to do that again. This is awesome.
It seems like a big power move just to like swing your weight around. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to make this happen because I want to.
Yes, I totally agree. And then he said graphics and music should be great. Playability is also crucial. Another important thing is to have the reality or presence as if it were really there in the Mega Drive / Genesis game lineup in the 80s and 90s. And I believe only creators who have been active since those days could achieve that. He also said like they're looking at different ways of releasing it, but they are considering just straight up releasing it as a cartridge that you can put into your Genesis, not just as like, a ROM you can load on like a ROM loading device or something like that. Although I'm sure it'll probably come in that form as well.
Oh yeah. No, that's this is cool.
It's exciting. I love Yuzo Koshiro. He's a cool dude. And I'm glad he's still working in games because he could kind of do whatever he wants. They got that Streets of Rage movie coming out. We still have not heard of whether or not they're going to use him.
Fucking better.
Oh, they have to, right? At least one track inspired by.
Yeah. Honestly, they should just like have him basically just update a couple of his old tracks and like do some new tracks. But man, that should just be the soundtrack of the movie. All right. We have an explanation of what happened with Cyberpunk 2077's multiplayer spinoff that is no longer happening, and it definitely is no longer happening. There was some word early on about how it's definitely been put on the back burner. We're not working on this right now. It's just not going to happen now. And let's see, CD Projekt Red senior quest designer. I think his name is. I have it here somewhere. But anyway, his quote is, "We really needed to look at what were our priorities for Cyberpunk after it launched. The priority was that the main experience will run for people in a really good state, and essentially the switch of priorities meant that other R&D projects had to go away. With Cyberpunk, we wanted to do many things at the same time, and we just needed to really focus and say, okay, what's the important part? Yeah, we will make that part really good." And that didn't include the multiplayer, and now they haven't done any work on that, and it's just not going to happen, which was probably the right call, right?
I feel like they should have had maybe this ethos going into the first game of just like, we should focus in on the game.
Yeah, it seems like that's exactly the problem, right? That they had kind of their eyes got too big and they thought they could take on a lot more than what they actually could take on. And it really ended up hurting Cyberpunk when it launched.
I also imagine that like a lot of the folks that made it are probably sick of continuing to make it. Like they had to fix so much of it. And it's like, I bet they're ready to move on to some other project. Right. They don't want to be doing this forever.
Yeah. And it's also, they've salvaged a lot of Cyberpunk, but a salvage job can only be so rewarding. And that can burn you out. I could see exactly what you mean. All right. ToeJam and Earl movie is in the works at Amazon Studios.
Where did this come from?
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog is the biggest movie star in the world. So you know what that means. A ToeJam and Earl movie.
Get the Paperboy from Paperboy on the phone.
Yes, exactly. Amazon Studios, they announced that The Hollywood Reporter has this story. The film is being produced by Unanimous Media, which is the production company.
Media said, yes, we want this movie.
ToeJam and Earl. ToeJam and
Earl. Unanimous Media is Steph Curry's production company.
Yo, what? Does he have like a soft spot for ToeJam and Earl?
I don't know. I think we have to assume yes. I think we have to assume that all of the Golden State Warriors championships owe some debt of gratitude to ToeJam.
Have I been funding this movie?
I think you've been funding it. Yeah. It has a screenplay from the team that worked on Hotel Transylvania. Somewhere in the story, and they said also that maybe he worked on the script, but I had to misread this, that Derek Kolstad from like John Wick fame worked on this movie. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not right. And so I didn't even put that in here, but
if that were I don't know. I'm interested.
Yeah, I got to see that ToeJam and Earl inspired by John Wick. I like ToeJam and Earl a lot. It's a game that always had way more style and attitude than it did fun gameplay. It was an early roguelite, which is pretty cool. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see this. This really feels like one of those that gets announced and immediately enters production hell, right?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, are they gonna, I don't know, update them to be less overtly 90s tude?
No.
Hip hop 90s tude?
Oh no, they're leading
It's
all
like
the
an
way
Austin
in.
Powers thing, and like he just hasn't. They haven't grown up with the times.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a-
fish out of water story.
Yeah. What was the Kicking It Old School? The one with Jamie Kennedy, which was basically the same thing, only that one was just like, oh, he's not out of time. He's just still 12 years old in an adult man's body, and it's really just the worst movie. Yes.
So it's big but bad?
It's big, but just ferociously racist and bad. And yes, it's really good. Don't watch that movie.
Goodness.
What
Dan
else?
streamed it on his channel. So
What
yeah,
else
it's
has
bad. Rough stuff.
unanimous media done other than just
I looked-
Steph Curry things?
Yeah, I looked this up and I couldn't find much, Jan. So this might be your area of expertise. Like Steph Curry, what are you doing out there?
Hey, you know what started this? What started this was him doing that Minions commercial, and then him just being enlightened, and then he saw me, and then I clapped the clapboard, and he was like, "That's cool. Maybe I'll go do that myself."
That's
He's
probably it.
He's jealous of LeBron. He wants his own Space Jam.
Yeah.
So he's going to do it in the ToeJam and Earl universe.
Oh my God.
Put himself in the
He's the
game.
only human actor
Yep.
in
What's
there.
Is that an isekai? Isekai? I can't say it.
Isekai,
yeah.
You got it right first time.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? Steph Curry's unanimous media did help make Holy Moly season 4, folks.
What?
Remember Holy Moly?
I do absolutely not. Is it about religious guacamole?
No,
About holes.
no, not the Louis Sacker novel or the Shia LaBeouf movie.
The Shia LaBeouf
Or my
movie?
backyard right now? Which no,
Well,
don't ask me about my backyard.
that's on you, Chef.
Yeah.
It is, I think, a celebrity mini golf show.
Okay. All right. That sounds right. Holy moly! I
Thrilling.
Yeah. All right. Final story that I have here. Vampire Survivors is getting DLC. Shout out to Jess for pointing this
shit.
out to me today. I'm like, wait, did I hear that? And I went to look it up after we did our quick look. That'll be going up later. Legacy of the Moon Spell is launching December 15th for $1.99. It includes 8 new characters, 13 new weapons, 6 music tracks, and the game's biggest stage by far, which that doesn't make sense to me, right? Because all the stages are infinite. They're like a loop, right? They're all infinitely big. The answer to that is it's our biggest stage yet because it's a sprawling map featuring several different environments, all with their own challenges and resident monsters. This one stage includes an abandoned castle, snow-covered mountain, and a yokai-infested village, and more besides that. That sounds like a very good direction for Vampire Survivors.
For $2. They're
For
crazy.
$2. They are. It's madness. I cannot wait. I'm so
Crazy
excited.
in a good way.
Yep. That's on the short list for my game of the year, and it just sounds like it's going to get a lot better.
Jesus. Yeah, I forgot that technically counts for this year, so I have to reconfigure my whole top 10 now. Damn it.
Yeah, there it is. I started putting mine together, and I'm like, I don't know. Hey, that does it for the news that I wrote down here, Jan. I'm going to hand the show back over to you.
I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it here, I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to ask the audience here if there's any other last minute games that you think any of us should play for Game of the Year contention.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot out there. I mean, I think we've all checked out the big releases, right? Or at least across the board, we've covered most of them.
Who else on staff has played Pentiment besides me, like all the way through?
I played it all the way
almost
through.
all the way through.
Okay, cool.
It's
oh,
Yes. Yeah.
it's yeah. Yes.
right?
Gosh, oh no, do I have to check out what is this? Return to Monkey Island? Oh no.
Oh, people do really like that.
Oh,
I don't know. I had fun with it in the quick look that we did, and I didn't play it after that. And it's adventure games aren't normally my thing. Although maybe my taste might be changing because Pentiment's an adventure game, and this other game, the Golden Case of the Monkey Idol, I can't actually remember what it's called. That's kind of adventure-y. That game rules, by the way.
Really, I
Rules.
forgot I was interested in that. Shit, I gotta.
Let's do
I gotta play that.
Let's do a quick look of it because I think it'd make for a really good quick look because it's such a good concept.
The Case of the Golden Idol.
Yes, there it is.
Yes.
Thank
oh,
you.
we're gonna
That's been on my wish list, and I totally forgot about it.
Oh man, I also realized that I really need to reconfigure my top 10 because Stranger of Paradise.
Yes.
I forgot that came out this year,
That was like January or something, right?
I'm gonna need to touch my crystals with everyone else. Oh no! Oh no! This is gonna cause so much chaos. All right.
That
Well,
was March, actually. Wow, I was wrong.
oh no, Stranger of Paradise, Jack. Oh, what a fantastic game.
Cubes here.
Gosh, I don't know.
Got some cubes.
Cubes here, and I'm gonna look at. We're all gonna look at this cube. We're all gonna recharge as we take one more break, and then we'll be back after said break to read your emails. When you're hiring, you're supposed to leave no stone unturned. But how do you actually do that? Easy, baby. You partner with one powerful stone turner. You need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. Hey, waiting? Indeed's US data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. One of the best things about Indeed is it makes hiring all in one place so easy because of stuff like virtual interviews. Virtual interviews, you save yourself time, you save your candidates time. You can message, schedule, and interview top talent all in one place. Join over 3 million businesses worldwide using Indeed to hire great talent fast. Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you have to make every dollar count. That's why when you sponsor a job, you only pay for quality applications from resumes in our database matching your job description. Visit Indeed.com/bomb to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/bomb. Indeed.com/bomb. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. You know, last Friday, the four of us, it was the four of us, checked out Warhammer 40k Darktide.
Oh yes! Oh, that was a good time.
That one track in that game, the one that I remember with like the organ and like the gothic.
I've been thinking about it kind of nonstop.
That's the first time I've thought in a long time about getting a game soundtrack just for one game. Man.
Okay, putting that on a little category here, maybe.
Yes, definitely. Best music might have to, that's going to be
not bad. That's not bad.
It's going to be a heavy hitter there. Just like all these heavy hitting emails that we get from you, the audience, you can send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. Potentially we will read them. High likelihood that I will have to wade through a lot of spam, but I appreciate any and every email and every question that gets asked. And let's hit the music. Froze for a second. This is gonna be the week that pushes me off the edge of like, all right, we're gonna have to go and record locals. Anyway, everything should be fine. Everything should be fine. Once again, you can send your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. First email today is about Filipino Christmas meals. This comes from Doug from Minnesota. Oh, hello, gang. Each year, my family has been shifting our Christmas meal to a different theme. Last year's German and this year's Filipino. What a suggested Filipino dish served at special occasions. A suggestion for a safe bet for kids and adults would be helpful. Thanks, Doug from Minnesota.
I don't know where you're going to find those ingredients in Minnesota, but shit.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, best of luck, sir. That seems like a vast departure from German from last year.
They both sound great.
Yeah.
German Jollibee in Minnesota, so I don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah, I'll suggest the three basic ones. You could just do pancit, which is a noodle dish. It's I guess the closest thing we have to chow mein. Lumpia, which is virtually just egg rolls, little teensy ones. And third one, go get some type of seafood. And put in way too much fried pork that you think you and your family might get gout. And gout is the ultimate Filipino Christmas dish.
Does that come with is that a risk with eating pork generally?
Oh, that is a risk of being Filipino. That's just a high risk. That is what I am constantly fighting on a daily basis, no matter how okay I try to eat.
I'm learning so much.
Shouts out to Gout, Gout Gang. Stand up.
Gang.
Stand up slowly, though, because your toe hurts.
Because it hurts.
Yeah. Next email comes from Matt from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro.
Hey guys, the Grand Theft Auto series usually takes a step forward when it comes out, like better graphics or size, or 3 main characters, etc. With the recent turnover at Rockstar and the continued success of GTA Online, do you think 6 will take another leap forward, or will it be a better looking version of 5? If it tries something new, what do you think it could be, or what do you want it to be? I'd like more options for homes and things with garages that aren't all identical, but that's minor. Thanks, Matt from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
So wasn't the rumor that the protagonist is going to be female?
Yeah, I was going to say the greatest leap forward of all, animating women.
Women exist. What?
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Women can do crime too.
Yeah,
finally.
Yeah. They'll have some leaps forward. Sure. Yeah, I think. But I mean, it's kind of hard. It was so easy from GTA 2 to GTA 3 that I remember having the conversation with my friends. We were playing GTA 2 and be like, man, imagine if this was just 3D and you were down, the camera was down there level and you could see everything from that angle. And we basically just described what GTA 3 was going to be before it was announced, because it was obvious to everyone that would just be a good idea. Now it's like we're kind of everything's pretty realistic and you kind of done it all. I think the big thing for games like this is very detailed interiors. That seems to be where things are going next, because you could almost press a button these days. Obviously, it's not this simple, but you could press a button these days and get a city out of a game engine. Unreal has shown that. Like, press a button, here's your city. But then interiors are where all that the effort of the artists that you have on staff are probably going to go. And I think that's the right maneuver there for a team like that. Be like, okay, let's create detailed interiors and then give you a ton of fun things to do indoors instead of just always, driving a car outside or something along those lines.
Interesting. Okay. Do you think it's easy for them to just sit on their laurels, given how successful, GTA Online is?
I think it's definitely been it's got to be a risk, right? Because you don't want to mess with GTA
It's a
Online.
proven formula. They're making fucking money hand over fist.
It requires a huge upfront investment to create a game that can work like that, and they know no one else is really going to be able to do that. And if they try, they're probably not going to end up being GTA Online. So that risk is so high that they are pretty insulated from competition. So I think it's a real risk that they'll rest on their laurels. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Next email comes from Paul from Flint, Michigan. Hey, Bombardiers. In this episode, you started talking about the different racing games, especially Need for Speed and Burnout. It sparked a thought in my head about what racing games I've played and how over the past 30 years, consoles are the only place I have ever enjoyed them. Handheld devices just never do it, and the PC has had a lack of affordable analog controllers for most of that time. Are there any genre of games that only work for you in a specific way? May your Yule log burn bright. Paul from Flint, Michigan. Thanks, Paul.
Back at ya.
Yeah. Fighting games for sure. Like, I don't feel comfortable unless I'm using an arcade stick. And for a long, long time, there's not a good option from first or third party stuff. It wasn't until Mad Catz came around with kind of Markman in the background, putting out sound compatible arcade sticks, the Japanese parts and such. And it changed the industry for sure. And it got a lot of people hooked on arcade sticks. So, but that's where I grew up, the arcade, man. So
the mean streets.
Yeah, mean streets.
I feel like I can't sorry.
No. Go ahead, Jess.
All the N64 games that have come out on the Switch, I cannot play them on anything but the N64 Switch controller.
Sure.
I cannot wrap my head around it for some reason. Like, it really does not translate.
The C buttons versus an analog stick is a very weird thing.
Yeah, and I just I'm sure there's tons of people that can just play with the regular Pro controller. They could play Ocarina of Time or something like that. I don't know, but I cannot. I've got a brain problem.
You're not alone on that. I have some friends that have said the same exact thing to me, and it's like, I got used to it because of so many years of emulating N64 games, but Now that I have that N64 controller, I definitely find myself craving using that over a lot of other options.
I love that controller.
Yes, so it's very cool.
Proper tactics games with tiles, I feel like I need to play them with a good D-pad. Just to properly enjoy the tiles.
Yeah.
Like doing it with an analog stick just doesn't quite give me the same, doesn't provide the same juice. I guess for a while Pokemon games, but then me and Pokemon lately, that's just a different thing entirely.
All right, you guys aren't speaking.
I heard speaking, yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I've just had such a love affair with handhelds for so long that if I can get anything on a handheld, that's where I want to play it. I'll say this person saying they've never been able to enjoy a racing game on a handheld or on the PC and only on consoles. I'll say I was just playing Stuntman for the Game Boy Advance on my analog pocket the other day. And it's a game where you're just like, you're driving cars through environment. Yeah, I know, but it's such a good game. And it's like one of those faux 3D Game Boy Advance games. So it's like really ugly, but in a super fascinating way. And I just love it because it's like this little digitized voice calling out, clip right. And you're supposed to clip the wall. And there's a little icon there where you're supposed to clip the wall. It's a really solid, fun game to this day. I loved it then. I'm like, I think it still holds up. It's like still one of the best Game Boy Advance games. We should do something about like sleeper hits from old consoles, and I think that'd be fun. One I would put on there. Yeah,
that'd be fun. God, I can finally talk about Brave Fencer Musashi on the PS1.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That game rules. I've only played the first 2 hours of it. It's like amazing, and I keep meaning to go back to it.
It's good. More the demo disc than I did the actual game.
I think, I think my opinion is colored by the demo disc exclusively, actually. All right. The other Jeff isn't here, but I think we can still talk about some hockey stuff. This comes from Greg from Ottawa. Hi, all. Love what you are, and love where you're going. Keep up the great work. As a lifelong Ottawa Senators fan, would you kindly let us join the ranks of NJ and DT? Oh, okay. Detroit. As teams that actually improve? Our team seems to have forgotten how to do so over the last decade, minus our miracle run in 17. Signed while crying. Thanks, Greg from Ottawa.
Yeah, like Ottawa is definitely supposed to be one of those teams that like made some moves in the offseason, like the Red Wings. I mean, New Jersey just had to get kind of healthy, and obviously they've had some stuff, but mostly it was just getting healthy. But New Jersey has super improved. The Red Wings have definitely seen improvement, but they're not like one of the elite teams. And then Ottawa has sort of just kind of fizzled out again, and I'm so sorry about that. But I was going to say, like, just keep holding on. But with the Senators, you're right. You kind of might have to just wait for a miracle run, and I apologize for that.
All right. Next email comes from Josh, and I feel like we need to make some investments here. We need to make some investments.
Make this
This is a legit town/high school mascot based on an old obscure cartoon that no one remembers. Go Jeffs, Josh.
Oh, Mutton Jeff.
And then this is you know who this is?
Yeah, it's like 1920s or 1880s. It was a newspaper cartoon.
All right. Jess with the obscure knowledge coming in hardcore
I went
today.
to art school, so it was a little relevant in my history of illustration class. Mutt and Jeff were like a thing, I guess.
Yeah, Mutt and Jeff cartoon strip. Yeah, I never heard of it. But there's this high school team are named the Jeffs or Go Jeffs.
Yes.
I need this.
Yes, we need to somehow go to a game.
Yeah.
Of the Go Jeffs in Fairbury, New England. Is that what that is? I don't know states.
Nevada, it's got to be Nevada, right? Because New England's not a state.
NV is
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Nebraska. That sounds right. Yeah.
Apologies to our Nebraskan.
NV.
You just quizzed us all on geography there.
Yeah.
And I failed miserably.
So Mutt and Jeff was a long-running and widely popular American newspaper comic strip created by Bud Fisher in 1907.
1907. Wow.
And it ran with different creators all the way up until 1983.
Yeah, I think Todd McFarlane was the last artist on it, I think.
Yeah. Rob Liefeld.
It says George Brewshacker here.
Yeah, he couldn't draw feet on them. Yeah.
Yep. His fucking ankles are just like.
Yep.
Yeah, we need to make a company excursion, and next get together we need to go to Fairbury, Nebraska to go watch the local hockey team and just buy all the merch possible.
Yeah, we'll go visit Warren Buffett and go to a GOJEFFS game. Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
good.
Nebraskans. Anything else in Nebraska we should check out? Holler at your boy, because I don't know. I just don't know.
That's where I left in Lincoln, Nebraska. I left a DVD collection of the Saw movies for my friend who lives there, and I left it out behind a tree at a Wendy's so that he can come get it while we were just driving through the town. So it might still be there. I think he got it though. I'm not sure.
I hope so. It's good movies.
That's
I love
one.
Saw.
That's one way to.
He gave them to me to watch because he loved them so much. So yeah.
Oh,
And you left them in a tree. All right.
By a tree on the ground, to be clear. Yeah.
Okay. Next email comes from Brandon. How's it going? With the success of the with the success of the Xbox Series S, I was curious, do you think PlayStation should have gone the same route? Should they have made a cheaper, smaller, slightly weaker console instead of making a discless version? Love the podcast. Have a wonderful week, Brandon. I don't think they care.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I think that's probably right? Because Microsoft, it is. They need the value proposition to win over some people who are definitely going to get a PlayStation 5, right? And those, and sure, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are going to be pretty competitive, even though the PlayStation 5 probably still going to outsell it in North America. But in places like Europe and the UK, where we hear the Xbox Series S is doing very well, those are traditionally territories easily won by the PlayStation versus anything else. And what you need to do there to compete is, well, here's another option that you can get to play these other games or maybe access another service alongside your PS5. And I don't know if Sony is in a position this generation where it would need to make that argument ever. So this is probably the right choice for both companies, I think.
Yeah, I was just based off of how much hype there was and still is to even try and get a PS5. I don't think Sony was hurting with a different SKU
no way.
because well, if you could, folks like still looking for a PS5, I don't think they care at this point whether or not they're going to get a discless one or one with a disc. It's funny. I was on customer support with Best Buy, and part of their automated jingle thing that would get interrupted in between the music was like, "Hey, if you're looking for a PS5, just keep checking the website, guys. We'll have them eventually. Don't worry."
They're much more in stock. The resale price on eBay has plummeted pretty hard.
Oh yes,
these things, so,
mess up the resale market across the board.
4080s came out, and like resale, like scalpers are just like, we'll just sell it to you for retail. We're sorry. Please just buy them from us for retail. So
I bought 12. Please take them off me.
Yeah. Is Sony making money off the console itself?
It's gone back and forth depending on the availability of components.
Okay.
For a while there, they said they were, and then it was very clear once things got real wild with the supply chain that they weren't again, and that's why they raised the price $50. And so they probably are now at this point with the price increase and with the revision of the system on a chip, which went from 6 nanometer to 5 nanometer, so they could put a lot more on a wafer, and they could pretty much pay the same price for the wafer, but they're getting a lot more. What are basically the heart of the PlayStation 5s on each of those wafers. So
with that mentality, like they're not going to drop the price below, losing money. It's like Microsoft is, the Microsoft is losing money on consoles and shit, but they needed to make it up in market share. So
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I also feel like they're relying so hard on folks lining up for not lining up, but signing up for Game Pass, right? Like that is a big part of Microsoft's model right now. And that I don't think PlayStation has any alternative, because I forget whether or not I'm actually subscribed to like PlayStation's Plus, whatever the fuck it's called.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got most of the people that are going to get on PlayStation Plus right now. It's a lot of the people who are playing Call of Duty every year or some other online multiplayer game. And they've made some moves to get more people on with their instant library. But that stuff has smoothed out the transition for them from like one generation to the other, and the services money is a ton of money, and it's really working for them. But it's they are not trying to shake things up in a way. They're not trying to. They don't need a come from behind strategy. They're playing from out in front in the leadership position, and that from that position, you don't need to be like, okay, how can we get creative with our hardware? A discless version to sort of slowly encourage people to adopt an all digital future. That's where they're at, and that's working just fine for them.
Yep. Hardcore. Let's read 2 more emails. Mark from Delaware. Hello, Bombardiers. My 5-year-old son is about to get a Switch for Christmas and has shown some interest in Pokemon. Outside of listening to Jan's Poke exploits, I don't have any recent Pokemon experience. Any recommendations to get him started? Thanks, Mark from Delaware.
Starting off with a disappointment. You can get Scarlet or Violet right now.
Oh, Pokemon.
Keep the bar low.
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
The Switch
definitely.
Snap rules.
Yeah.
Super cool.
You have the gyro controls too.
Kids
mess
would love
around with
that
it.
shit, I imagine.
The N64 one is on Nintendo Switch Online too, so you got both snaps ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say be careful with Pokemon Snap 2 at least because of the loop, and that your child might become increasingly frustrated with it because they're not unlocking the new courses.
Well, he's only 5. I don't even know if he'll know that, right?
Perhaps.
I don't know how smart 5-year-olds are.
We need a 5-year-old. We need to know if this kid's reading, because Emmy's getting there. She just wrote Cat by herself without any help for the first time the other day.
The whole musical.
That ruled. Well, listen, let's not. I don't want to poison this child immediately. I've never seen Cats. I should do that sometime soon.
Filming 40's Cats. Anyway.
But
Please.
Jan, let's go.
I'll do it. That'll be how I'll finally watch it. If we do it, yes, I'll do it.
Jan, let's fucking go.
But she's like right on the cusp of getting to a point where she can read and write. If your kid's reading, that changes things a little bit. I think with Pokemon, you could just hand them over to a real Pokemon game and say, "Go to town."
Yeah.
But if they need to like slowly move themselves into it, and you have to be guiding them along, I'm not sure. Are there some more actiony games or like?
I want to suggest.
Please.
I think there's reading in it, but it's like this is like very like intro to Pokemon for very little kids. That one that was like, what is it? Let's Go Pikachu Eevee?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was going to be my recommendation.
Yeah, that's right.
Jinx.
I would suggest, because going with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, even though Gen 4 is my favorite and Diamond and Pearl are my favorites, there is a lot of reading, and then
imagine being 5. There's no way.
Right. And because of all the reading, and then because, I don't know, it isn't the most visually stimulating, perhaps, kids may just get turned off of it, especially at 5. But Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, solid recommendations as like your first foray into the Pokemon world.
You get to put hats on them and pet them and stuff.
Yeah. And it's actually a game that works well, you know? Imagine that. It looks great. It works well. Maybe they should have stuck to that formula. Because I think Legends Arceus may be too much at 5. I don't know about like hand-eye coordination with having to do like 2 sticks and everything. But you can also play like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee with like the little Pokeball controller. I don't know if they still sell that, but they also just do it. You can play it single Joy-Con. So if you hook it up to a TV, kids should be good to go, just tossing that bad boy over and over again.
You throw Pokemon out and you go get a Game Boy Color and you get Robopon, which is a shameless ripoff of Pokemon, but it has a Robopon in there called Johnny that is a toilet, as in John, and it's just got 2 eyes sticking out of it, and they're like, it's a very clean, no one wants to use this toilet because he's a creep. That's his description. So, Game of the Century? I think so.
Yeah, I think we need to open up a new category for Game of the Year this year, huh?
Yeah. Best toilet creep, absolutely.
Okay, last email of the show, and this is a topic in question that gets thrown around a lot. I apologize to this emailer because I forgot to copy over your name, but this email goes, "Hey, Bombcast, I have a question for your noodles. A famous director is making a movie about the making and history of Giant Bomb. What actors would you like to see play you and your colleagues in a movie version of your work life? I'll start with one that literally gets stuck in my head every fucking week. I listen to a lot of Comedy Bang Bang, a podcast, and I really think Paul F. Tompkins and Jeff Bakalar would be the perfect fit."
Oh, that's good. I like that.
That's a big improvement on Bakalar, yeah.
Yeah, get his ass.
It's a mix of their cadence and sense of humor. I also think they sound alike. Bonus question for bonus points. Who would you want to direct the movie? Anyway, thanks for a great podcast. I hope you have a good holiday. Thank you, emailer.
Well, obviously, Carl Urban's going to play me, and that's the end of my...
Well, I was going to say Jason Momoa should play you.
Jason Momoa, never mind. There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, totally.
I don't even know. I don't know how to cast myself. Like, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah.
who's like me? I don't know. I'm so unique.
Young Jamie Lee Curtis. There we go.
That would be a good. That's a good shout, actually.
I like that one. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
She's Scream Queen too, so it makes sense.
Yeah, there we go. Let's. Who would I want to direct Giant Bomb the movie with our
Guillermo
cast
del
of
Toro somehow.
Hideo Kojima.
In the ultimate slap in the face, it's gonna be a claymation movie, wouldn't it be? Huh?
Yeah. Yes, it'll be the
that'd be
Wolves and
great.
Gromit team. Absolutely.
No.
Janet would love it.
Justin Lin's pretty good. I like that.
Justin Lin is a good shout. It
the
is just
director,
the
yeah.
Fast and Furious movies, but us.
Yeah.
That director, I mean, my go-to for everything is Wes Anderson, but I don't know if we fit in with Wes Anderson. You know what? I'm going to say the Daniels. I want the Daniels to make a movie about us. That's the folks that made Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
I want David Fincher, but like 90s grungy David Fincher, kind of punk rocky,
Yeah,
weird,
that'd be
kind of
good.
off kilter David Fincher, like Fight Club style.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he would play, but I need Greg Proops to be in Giant Bomb of the movie.
He would just play
Rory.
Greg Proops.
Rory! No, he would just be Rory.
Rory, that's Rory.
Oh my God, that's perfect. I love it.
Oh my God. Folks, if you're watching live, I need suggestions for the rest of the cast. God. What's the guy, his name? He was on like The Shield. He's bald. He's angry.
Michael
The Thing.
Chickless?
Yes.
Chickless.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I want him to play Dan.
I love that. That's incredible. Yeah.
I don't think it fits at all, but I want him to play Dan.
Nick Offerman, is that the name of the guy? That should be Jason.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see that.
I think they have the same. I think they could do the same gravel in their voice. Absolutely.
There we go.
Oh, you know what? How dare you, BW, to say Chris Pratt as Jan? I'm gonna ban you from this website. Charlie Day as Dan is actually a very good shout.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God,
good
that's
too,
a good
actually.
one.
Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking of Asian actors. I'm gonna go with Aquafina for me. That's right. Or Michelle Yeoh as me. Huh?
Yes, I love it.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, especially with the Daniels. Damn, hell yeah.
Just Eddie Murphy plays all of us, like one of the old movies he used to do where he played all the characters.
You know what? I want John Leguizamo to play me.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Absolutely.
That's right.
That would work.
He's Hispanic. I'm Filipino. We were colonized by the same people. It works out. It works out.
He played Italian. He can play in Filipino. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. And this is how we get John Leguizamo to be on something on Giant Bomb. Oh my God.
Never mind. Diego Luna, play me if we're going out there. Give me Diego Luna. Oh yeah.
Yes,
Dreamy bastard.
Yes. I also just want Jason Mantzoukas as Tam. I feel like only he can provide the right amount of chaos.
Okay, mischievousness.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all the bants. All the bants.
Tam is handsomer than him though.
Well, yeah.
Oh, he's more handsome than anybody. I mean, come on.
I mean,
Tam.
come on, honestly.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
So someone said Phoebe Waller-Bridges is Lucy. That's pretty good.
Who's that?
Okay.
She's the one from the
Fleabag?
Fleabag. Yes, thank you. Yes,
yeah.
Fleabag.
No, I see it.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh, Kermit the Frog is Lucy. Just one Muppet. Just one. Yes.
Yeah,
Fuck
actually.
yes. That's who said that? I'm sorry. That's Topher. Thank you so much, Topher.
Actually, I have to go with my Cop Amelia. You know what? I want Dave Bautista to play me. That's right. Put it on a movie poster. Dave Bautista as me, Jason Momoa as Jeff Grubb, Greg Proops as Matthew Rory, Paul F. Tompkins as Jeff Bakalar. And then, we'll figure out the rest. The rest. Thank you for sending your emails to bombcast@giantbomb.com. The rest of this week is going to be a little funky, right, folks?
Yes, correct.
We're getting funky.
Getting mad funky.
Things happening. I'm pretty excited about talking over the Game Awards with y'all.
Yeah.
It could be an entertaining thing if you sort of let it be what it is and just kind of joke over it. And I'm ready to do that. And I bet there's going to be some fun surprises.
Good.
Yes, we're going to have a
I'll
fun
get
little...
hype when hype is necessary.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. We'll see.
I don't. Should we dress up for the Game Awards? That's a long stream to sit at home for the Game Awards.
Let's fuck off.
Oh, let's
No way.
fancy. Oh.
I mean, he didn't say anything about not wearing a dress shirt, though. We'll see. Yeah.
What?
I got a jacket I'll put on from
I'll wear a
Indochino.
little number.
That's right, folks. Dress your best this Thursday. The rest of this week, we got Game Mess mornings. Correct, Mr. Grubb?
That's right. Tune in, please.
Fucking Mike, does Jeff even have nice clothes? No Eternal Darkness at the Heart of My Soul tomorrow, and that also means no Blight Club on Thursday. Also, unfortunately, the dump truck is passing us by this week, but as
everyone's traveling. Yeah.
Everyone's traveling. As we mentioned, we will be talking over the Game Awards this Thursday. I believe it's starting at 4:30 p.m.
It is Pacific.
It's going to be a
7:30
long
Eastern.
show, y'all. It's going to be a very long show.
Our weekly schedule is all kerfuffled up. The voicemail dump truck is on there. Damn it.
We'll be back with UPF on Friday, though.
Yes.
So
yes.
Arcade Pit.
Arcade Pit popping off.
Arcade Pit.
Yes.
Jeff's
awesome.
Bizarre Adventure. Wednesday.
And next week, y'all, prepare for Game of the Year, where we'll have more specifics
next week.
later this week. It will be popping off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll have an extravaganza planned for you.
A palooza.
A pivot palooza. PP's all over the. I'm not going to say
everywhere.
PP everywhere. Okay,
That's the buzzwords that we use inside the biz. We don't have to bring that to the podcast.
That's right. Until next week, y'all. Well, not next week. We will catch you on the website, around Twitch, on the YouTube. Follow us everywhere because we're always following you. And I've been Jan Ochoa. He's been Jeff Grubb. She's been Jess O'Brien. He's been Jason A. Stryker. And you have been looking great. Keep drinking water, friends. Whoa.
We're right behind you.
The Giant Bombcast is hosted and live produced by Jan Ochoa, with support from Jeff Grubb, Dan Reichert, Jess O'Brien, Lucy James, Tamor Hussein, Jason A. Stryker, Matthew Rory, and me, Jeff Bacalar. The theme music is provided by Tom Monda. Our logo is designed by Dave Schopenek, and you can find him online with the handle @DaveSavedTheDay. Justin Vachon is our sweet little art boy. And thank you so much for listening. Of course, a kiss on the cheek to you at home.